Chord. Check, 1, 2. Make sure this is working properly. Okay, so welcome to Nerd Rage, Sober Nerd Rage. It's been a while since we've been sober. It's been a while, and this is take 2. As it might sound, it's a little bit more polished this go around. I had to clean something up from last week. Listening back to the music conversation, Joe derailed me almost immediately. And in my drunk mind, I got super into just arguing with him.
You sure did.
And that argument of mine is an argument of mine, but it's not the argument that I wanted to have. It's not even the argument I wanted to have. I thought everybody would be on the same page.
That happened a couple times because it happened with the PlayStation. It happened with the music.
So the PlayStation, I was right on that one. Time will tell.
Beg to disagree.
This is coming from the guy who thought Crush Groove was going to be bigger than E.T. That's a Dogma joke. Forget it. Laugh now, figure it out later.
My God, Bobby, my God.
So anyway, long story short, these two angels in Dogma, they're arguing, and then one says like, "No, I'm telling you, it's going to be huge." It's like, "Yeah, this coming from the guy who said Crush Groove is going to be bigger than E.T." And he's like, "Look, time's going to tell him that." Anyway, so the conversation that I was trying to have was how everybody is playing for keeps. There's a Trump point on Joe's about, because he listens to YouTube. You know, there's a Trump point there, like, well, not all music is on YouTube, so you're left out of certain shit.
Okay.
You know, I think Prince just became available after he died, but before that, he wasn't on there. I don't think Hove is on there. There's a bunch of people that are a little weird because the splits are so fucked, right? From big artists, you know. But the conversation was really, because I saw even comments about it, and I was like, fuck, I've not done a good job of explaining myself here. In the very beginning of the conversation, I said, you can download music from anything and integrate it into a library on something else, but it's not easy. That's all my point was.
Okay.
Is that it's not a user-friendly experience to bring music in that's not directly from the source that people are usually using. Therefore, if you use Spotify, you can't use anything else. If you're using Amazon, I don't think you can use anything else. If you're using Apple, you can use other things, but you have to import it separately, bring it into your library on a laptop, bring it into and then sync it across your phones. You can't do it from your phone because they're trying to keep just their shit on their shit.
Right.
And then some people have brought up a lot of Droid stuff, like WinApp, I think, people and things of that nature. And yes, that is true. And you can do exactly what I'm saying by doing that, but you have to usually do it on a laptop. You have to bring in, you have to create it, move stuff around literally, and then sync it across the phone. So it's just not easy. And my point is just that there used to be this thing with music where it was the labels and then the place where you buy it from. Right, but what the difference is the place that you buy it from is the same user experience across whatever label.
Let's break this down. So you're talking about Def Jam and Best Buy, right? Let's just use that as our example.
Yes.
The label in the store.
Yes, Def Jam
for
and
simplicity's sake.
Yes, but at Best Buy you can buy Def Jam, you can buy Universal,
yes,
all the same thing. Sony,
sure,
Columbia, and then it all plays the same.
No limit,
no limit, priority,
Cash Money.
You can but it all plays the same on your CD player. This argument of mine is not an argument about physical media versus digital media. It's specifically about the DSPs. That because the DSPs are
DSLs?
the digital streaming.
Let's talk about it.
Girl.
The digital streaming platforms. The digital streaming platforms are trying to make an effort to keep you, the customer, specifically on their thing, and as a result, they're not making it easy to bring other things into your. So it's no longer about your library and trying to provide the service for you. It's about keeping you on their app.
I've thought a lot about this conversation too this week. I had some shower revelations.
Okay.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah.
Those are good.
You know, I figured out the big difference between probably, I'm going to speak for Joe, and I may be wrong, but I think I'm right. Joe, myself versus you. I don't give a shit about owning any music. I'm just going to listen to it as it comes. And you want to own I know it's not physical, but you buy music, right? I only listen to streaming.
Yes.
Like if I like an album, I'll save it to my phone. But most of the time I just press some buttons in the song I want played.
You and 99% of the rest of the world.
Correct.
Yeah.
But correct. My conversation is specifically about music people. It's about people that are into music, really into it. So like if a song comes out tomorrow, right? New song, new band. And it's like, man, like, where has this band been all my life? Like, I love this shit. If they have a beef with Amazon the next day, now you're fucked.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think as a listener, when I was listening to it, and I was trying to keep up, I thought that you were kind of making an argument like it's impossible to be independent. And when you say
that's where I got derailed.
Okay.
That was a derailed conversation because that's another point that I have about this shit.
Right.
So my drunk brain was like, get this one out now too.
Sure.
Like, you know, like, but that wasn't the point I wanted to have.
Then I definitely got. I think the rest.
Yeah,
we got.
I think
lost.
everybody else. Yeah. And as soon as the comments started rolling in, without even listening back, I was like, I've done a poor job of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious because I've gotten so many comments that I'm like, But yeah, mine is specifically about like, it is not easy. Because regardless of whether it's Apple or Android, with Android, it's not even really about Android. It's about the apps that people use on Android. But it's really the apps, right? Apple's the only one that has their own, but it's really the apps. The apps don't want to play with other apps.
Right.
They want a chokehold on whatever they have.
It's
correct.
Look,
and as a result, it makes it a more difficult user experience.
It's happening with streaming.
Yes.
Streaming audio, streaming video as well.
Yes. And I was going to draw that connection where it's kind of interesting because it's different, but it's the same. Because even with them, it's like, because what's to stop music from doing that, right? Like if Universal was like, well, no, this is the Universal streaming app, and if you want to play songs that are on Universal, which is like 75% of the fucking music industry right now, you have to buy a streaming service through Universal.
I wish you didn't say it out loud. I feel like it's right around the corner.
I know.
Yep,
and then
thanks, Bobby.
And then they cut out Amazon, they cut out Apple Music, they cut out Spotify, and now we're all stuck
paying $5 here, $10 there, $8 here.
That's kind of what I wanted to get to.
Okay. No, I mean you have a good point, and look, my V-dub key won't fucking start your Chevy, right? It's the same thing. Everybody's making things proprietary, which makes them not talk to each other, not connect.
Correct, because everybody wants all of them to themselves.
Yeah. I mean, we're just going to have to, pick sides, and sooner or later, like if Universal decides, fuck, we can make more money doing this ourselves, then, places like iTunes and fucking Spotify and Amazon and YouTube, they're fucked.
And it's only going to take one album. It's only going to take one Kanye album or one.
Well, so when he tried to do it, right, with his streaming,
how did that go? I've heard nothing else about that.
Since I heard it on this podcast.
It never popped, and I think mainly because he released that shit. It wasn't even finished, But like the people that bought it, they love it. The problem is that nobody else is making music for it. So it's like a Zune.
So, I mean, it's literally the perfect example of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In a manner. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm glad I can sleep it better at night. I listened back to it.
I'm sorry I was keeping you up.
Before you get off the music stuff, when you played So Afraid, hold on. I literally stopped the podcast and was like, let me go listen to this song. And I went and listened to it. And remember, somebody had written in before and was like, what song do you listen to when you want to get hyped up?
What song was it?
Fleetwood Mac, I'm So Afraid.
I'll be honest with you. I looked for that fucking song, couldn't find it.
You got to look for
what album is it on?
Renditions.
It's on the real cut of it is on the first album, but if you go to their greatest hits, they have a live version of it, which is the best version of it.
I bet.
I don't like listening to live music.
Neither do I.
Except, like I don't want to hear the community yelling behind them.
I think
What's up, Texas?
Yeah,
I think I have 2 live songs on my
I
my
purposefully
library. And
don't have any on my main playlist.
One is I'm So Afraid, and one is I think You by the band Live. It was like an alternative band from the 90s. But the reason why is because my heart is for you. See, I lie for you. Yes, I'll die for you. It's the pain in my heart is for you. And then there's this one part of it where he's like,
but who is that?
Don't push your drugs in my face or I'm... No, it's not Live, is it though? Candlebox. Don't you push your drugs in my face or I'm going to put you in your place. Come on. And the whole crowd's like, fuck you. I can't. That shit was great. So those are the only 2 live, I think, and I have one because I have one Nine Inch Nails live because the riff is different and it's like a violin and I just happen to like it. But I'm with you. I don't like live music either generally unless I'm at the event.
Yeah.
Or if it's something I was at.
Yes, but that I'm So Afraid live is fucking capital D different.
But when you played it with the gunshots, it's different. So I was like, oh my God, this is literally the song I've been looking for. I need this in the gym. And then I played the real one and I was like, doesn't hit the same. It was still fire. I'm not trying to take away from it. But
And what's the name of this song?
I'm So Afraid.
So Afraid. No, just So Afraid.
Oh, just So Afraid.
Yeah.
So Afraid.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, Casey is with us, joining us today.
What up?
Uncle Dolphin could not be here, but we will, however, chirp in his memory.
And we have a little. We get a touch of Joe Dub. This
he
week.
will reach us from Montgomery County or Southern Maryland, wherever he happens to be today.
Wherever he
What a
happens
treat.
to be.
But with that, Casey, you got your coffee first, but you are a guest. So
You
let's
go
let's-
first.
let's go ahead.
No, that ain't the rules.
But yeah, that's true. That's true. Casey, you got your coffee first.
Yeah.
Fine.
Pinkerton, how was your nerd week?
It was good. It was busy. Finished up. All the rock boxes are labeled and just waiting to call UPS to say, will you please come pick up these 80 boxes? Shipping 80 fucking rock boxes. How awesome is that?
It makes a noise for the success of it, though.
Yep. We got everything's lined up for our shit in Nashville at BotCon on Friday. Mm-hmm. Should be a really good time. I'm going to tie on several while I'm there.
I have
After that night, I have no responsibility, so I'm gonna.
I have opened mine.
Yeah.
Quiet as kept. I
Yes.
won't say a word about it, but
Yes.
I was particularly. I'm not going to say a word about it directly. It's just an abstract thing. I was particularly impressed by something that I think most people will overlook because they don't consider the logistics of making such a thing happen.
Okay. You can tell me later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yep.
Yep.
I think everybody's going to be blown away.
But I would say that it was worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
So rest assured, those that bought. And also, I'm just going to piggyback and interrupt you. I was able to get Hanny finally for an interview. It
man.
didn't even happen the same day. Got love Hanny, good dude. I am happy that chapter of my life is over. That is a difficult
Yeah.
motherfucker to track down.
Handy can be challenging.
Yeah.
He's with everything he's got going on.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I really enjoyed that. I didn't get a chance to listen to the full version, but I listened to the YouTube cut. But so we're driving Wednesday. We're driving down to Nashville. So me and the wife and Mr. Brink's going to join us on
That doesn't surprise me.
our tour. So we're going to carry everything down and have a good time. So
Nice.
Looking forward to that. But I'm glad it's finished because I can get back to diorama world now, which Kelly's painting prototypes.
Nice.
I'm going to tell this story.
Yeah.
My wife is an incredible artist. She hates being called an artist, but what she does with paint boggles my. I can't do something
Why does she hate being called an artist?
I do too.
because she doesn't think she's an artist.
Me neither.
She just thinks she's a painter,
Me too. Not a painter, but a drawer,
a flyer,
an illustrator,
All right.
a scribbler.
and a flyer.
So we have a new prototype. I think I've probably shown you the. So there's two of them, and she used the exact same paint, the exact same technique, and they're completely fucking different colors. One of them is like this bright, and they're both beautiful, but they don't match. So bless her heart, today she's going to go back and repaint it all at the same time to get the same
God
paint
bless.
technique. Yeah. So after we get back from this weekend, we're going into that. I'm working on some other dioramas for some private clients. I can't really talk about too terribly much.
Nice.
But that'll be for something in November.
DJ, who we all know here, he calls mine Dolly Ramas.
Dolly Ramas.
That's actually a better name.
I think that's
For dollies.
because I think that's what he thinks in
About
his
your
head.
dollies?
Like he's like, for the Dolly Ramas,
Yeah.
of course.
The Dalai Lamas?
Yeah, the Dalai Lama.
Dalsim?
The
Dalsim?
Dalai Lama, Dalai Rama,
The guy with the really
diorama.
long arms. I listened to, so we got to talk about albums, and I'm like, I don't listen to a lot of albums, so I'm going to listen to some albums of mine. And one of my favorite artists is Jelly Roll. I've talked about Jelly Roll
have?
before. Jelly Roll right now, he's on fire. He's got like a top 10 country song, a top 10 rock song.
I found him on Instagram.
Okay.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
I do too. So I've been fucking with Jelly Roll probably for 10 years on the low. I mean, he was like a local Nashville guy.
Why on the low? Are you embarrassed?
No, just because he.
Yeah, his name is Jelly Roll.
Have you seen his wife?
You got that new jelly roll?
Jelly Roll, yeah. So I listened to, like, I did it backwards. I listened to his most recent album, and I've listened to him before, but I'm like, I'm gonna listen to these. And something I do like about Jelly Roll, he puts out like a 10-song album. He's not one of these 22-track motherfuckers. Sometimes I think if you give somebody 20, you see,
Bunny DeFord for those waiting.
Yep.
She looks like a.
And he's like huge. He's like my height, but another 200 pounds.
yeah,
He's
no,
a
I've seen him before
huge
in a
dude.
4-wheeler. Usually, I feel like
Maybe. I don't know if he can fit on a 4-wheeler. That's a shoot. Anyways, I really enjoy his music. kind of speaks to me, I guess, a bit more than
It's like that hillbilly rap, right? Like that, like that kind of genre,
it
like
has-
twangy,
but
hip hop ish.
They're usually out in the sticks. They have like there's some the four wheelers, maybe some BMX bikes.
He's not as redneck about it than a lot of
the
people are. I mean, he's from Antioch, which is a place you don't go after dark in Tennessee.
That's all places in Tennessee.
He's got face tats. That's all we need.
He
to
has
know.
face tats. He raps a lot about, people. He's got a song called "Addiction Kills." I think I've talked about it here before.
What do you think
That's a good
about
one.
Trump hats being the white version of the teardrop tattoo?
What?
Andrew Schultz said it. He was like, MAGA hats are the teardrop tattoo for white people. They don't give a fuck.
That's fair.
Except teardrops typically mean you got bodies.
Well, I
don't
think it's the
Trump
same
had-
thing as I don't give a fuck.
They're both just as trashy. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
I finished the
that
Anarchist.
dude's special is great, by the way. You should watch it if you haven't. Continue.
I finished the Anarchists on HBO.
Yeah, same as the one before, right?
It's like
Weak ending.
the dude died from alcoholism. He drank himself to death. Why? I don't know. I got frustrated. Like the first 3 episodes were bangers.
Yeah, I agree.
And then after that, it's like, are we still? Come on. And I fast forwarded through part of that last episode.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It was
like,
rough.
Like toward the end of it, they're like, so you know what, people, I really don't care that you're driving a truck now. I could give a fuck.
It sucks. It started off so strong, it sounds like, and then just fizzled out.
Yeah, it's just because it probably should have been a 2-hour movie.
I understand filler episodes; it's contractual, but like that's why the fillers go in the middle, or they sneak it in here and there, but not the last 2. That's bizarre.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Bobby, I know you don't have Netflix anymore.
That's true. I canceled it.
And I am actually striving every week to watch something on Netflix. And
For that reason, specifically.
Charlie recently watched all the Stranger Things on his own. And I had told him I'd watch season 4 with him when he got to it. Well, he was impatient. This is when we were in Alabama. He just tore through it.
Powered through it.
But he wanted to watch it again. And I said, I'll watch it with you.
Uh-huh.
That shit's fucking great, man.
Yeah, people say that it's good.
It is. I think it's. Have you seen season 4?
That was one of the better seasons.
Yeah. So I'm. I don't know.
They tied it in really well.
3 or 4 episodes in, and the episodes are like $1.20 a piece. They're long as hell. And I think the finale is like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But they do so many clever things in that show with transitions. Like it'll be showing like a light through, like you see a light at the end of a tunnel, and then it transitions to like an overhead light.
Right.
And I'd forgotten like how clever that was, historically on that show. But it's been really fucking good. Like I like wanted to watch more of it. And most of the time I'm like, let's get through this. But I'm like, let's watch more. So, I don't know if I'll get through it this week. But and the last thing I watched was is something new on Disney Plus. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's called She-Hulk.
I watched it.
I have thoughts.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Well, you just want to have that conversation.
Yeah, let's get
now?
into it now.
I wrote down Shulk because that's what I'm calling it.
Shulk.
Just Shulk. I don't know what to think after the first episode. I enjoyed it, but I don't really. I'm interested to see where they go with this.
So, Ill Will, who wants to go as Willy Whammo now,
I've seen Willy Whammo around.
he texted me and he was like, he enjoyed it, and he said, but it feels like you don't need any more.
After the first episode.
And I was like, dude, that's kind of a good point.
Well,
it's like you get the origin story, you get her like where she is in the world now, and it's kind of like there's your introduction to see She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I had never considered that.
I think we're getting 8 or 10 episodes.
Oh yeah, no, we are. But I'm just saying that's a good fucking point.
And I'll say this, I think Mark Ruffalo is way too good of an actor to be doing this shit. I mean, I love him in the role. I think he really.
Yeah, he's better than her. He overshadows her.
Absolutely.
I was impressed with her performance.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Fuck you, man.
I'll tell you the one thing.
Lowered expectation.
No, man. I liked her. I thought she had like a comedic presence, and that's hard to pull off. I think as you're bringing feminism to the forefront. You're doing all
aren't
this,
they though?
And it's hard to make that like a comedic, to make it lighthearted. And I thought she did a good job.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, like some of the points she was making about like being able to hold her anger back and stuff better than. I was like, well, I mean, that makes sense. It does.
Yeah, that goes both ways though. They try to like discredit that men don't do that every single day too.
You know what I did? You know what bothers me about it? Why the fuck does her hair grow when she transforms. That's like the thing.
I guess everything gross.
Well, I know, but I mean, Bruce Banner didn't get a fucking mullet when he turned into the
Good point.
Different genes,
What if he
they're
did?
different.
What if he had a delicious Kentucky waterfall that only grew when he was?
I'm working on mine, and you guys didn't say anything about it.
Well, you got
It's
a
the
hat on, bro.
Okay.
Couldn't see the mullet mohawk.
So I'll say that I found a lot of the feminism to be a little
On the nose.
You know, like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. This might surprise people. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was anything like.
I believe I said that.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I didn't.
Did you watch it with the girls?
No.
Really?
No, they don't want to watch this shit.
I'm surprised they didn't want to watch it.
They don't
the
give
only
a
reason I
fuck
watched it
about
is-
Marvel. Like, they don't give a fuck about Marvel. They don't give a fuck about DC. They don't give a fuck about Star Wars anymore, which used to be the one they actually kind of cared about. They're done with all of it.
Only reason I watched it is because I wanted to opinionate here today. That's it.
Good call.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that her CGI looks trash.
It's not the best.
I think that her breaking the fourth wall is ridiculous. Like, and there was somebody that commented, and there's no disrespect to their opinion and whatever, but like that maybe she does that in the comic and stuff like that. I've never read a She-Hulk comic.
Yeah, apparently it's a big aspect of the comic is talking to the audience.
But I don't care. It's not appropriate. There's a lot of things that happen in the comics that don't happen in the live action,
and that's kind
because
of
it doesn't make sense.
That's kind of Deadpool's bag already, right? So
there's that too. He's not technically in the MCU, which this guy reminded me of, but it's still it's in the orbit.
It is.
It's like so. He is,
Peekaboo.
but he is he is technically in the MCU because they've established that the X-Men with Hugh Jackman in it are in the multiverse.
Yes.
So since they've established that, they've also established that since Deadpool knows about that, it's all so technically it is, but it's not worth getting into.
Yes.
But
I'm exhausted from you explaining.
exactly. But like, neither here nor there. Like, so is she aware that she's in a? Because now I need all of that to make sense.
Well, it bothered me too. I wasn't a fan of it, but I thought they did it well. Like, I loved the scene when she said something to us, and then Bruce like looks back like, "Who you talking to?" And then she was like, "Oh, I like that." I thought it was funny, but I didn't like that she broke the fourth wall. Period. But I looked it up because it was bothering me, and they said that it's definitely. I got to take them at their word. They said
a linchpin to her character.
They said it's absolutely going to make sense as the story goes.
Oh, but they do. They love to say that.
I know, and that's why I said I got to take them at their word, and I'm over it.
But I don't think it better make sense. It better make sense, and in some sort of fulfilling way, or it's just I think it's silly. And then I think that like a lot of the feminist shit, man, it just seems so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it seems on the nose. It seems like the exact opposite of what I talk about with the boys.
Maybe they got it all out of the way.
Where like everything with the boys is kind of like something that happens on the screen and then is up for you to chew on and think about and internalize and have discussions about, instead of like, I'm a woman, so of course I'm angry and scared because I get catcalled and because I like, dude, I'm sure that sucks.
It's a little flattering,
but
like, fuck, bitch, I said you look good. God damn it, relax.
Have you guys seen off topic?
I don't even mean it that way, but it's just like the lowest hanging fruit from a writing perspective. You know, like it's what I would do as a man to write about it.
Have you seen the guy that does the polite cat calls? He's like, "Hey girl, you look like you unpack your suitcase as soon as you get home from a trip." Hey girl,
That's pretty funny.
I bet you never cracked your iPhone screen, and if you did, I bet you got Apple Care.
It's
Funny as hell.
And it just gets into like, it just like, now I'm not thinking about the show.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about what statement you're trying to make, whether or not I agree with your statement, whether or not like I think your statement's well done, and now I'm taken out of the show.
I agree. Remember, I told you that happened to me with Umbrella Academy. It's like it was so. I sat down to get away from.
Did
all
you
this
see I
shit.
cleaned it up for you, by the way?
A little bit, yeah.
I gave up on that.
Who's
show.
your buddy? Who's your pal?
Yeah, I did.
I gave
Actually,
up on that
I was
show.
drinking, so I was like, "Did I say that, or did he take that off?"
Yeah.
No, either way, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I
only
agree.
thing I'll say is I like the 30-minute episodes. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I always wanted an hour because I feel like there's more to tell and stuff. But the 30 was nice. It's like get in, get out. Whether it was good, bad, medium.
I feel the same
it
way,
didn't
but
feel
only
like a
if it's
complete
like
waste of time.
only with women characters.
Jesus Christ. Clean that up. Clean that up.
Well, I think this is a thing people say a lot about wrestling, and I think we probably should tie it into a lot of this stuff at this point. Don't put logic in an illogical situation. Like, I know we want it to make sense, but come on. It's giant green people.
And they're retelling the same story. Like, you're like, oh, she broke the fourth wall. But yeah, but that's what they did in the comics. So, like, they're just doing the same thing over again.
But it's also, that also is like looking for logic in the illogical. It's like, it's also a cop-out, though. Because in the same breath, like, why we think a lot of this stuff is great is because they make the illogical logical. It's because they put it in that light where it's like, man, that kind of makes
Like
sense.
time travel and the multiverse.
I know.
So that's where they get off the rails. That's,
I know.
and
That's literally where Marvel lost me with the multiverse. I was like, I don't give a shit. Somebody could die, and then it's not really real because there's 37 other, like, and it's just, it's a cop out.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I don't know. I'm in to watch it. I didn't like, but I
Relatively unremarkable.
it's not like Miss Marvel where I was like, I can't.
I haven't touched that show yet. I want to go back to Stranger Things for just a minute because I forgot. So in this season, I don't think I'm giving away any. Did you watch through season 3 of Stranger Things, Bobby?
I watched season 1.
That's all you watched. Okay, well, no, fuck you then.
I decided it wasn't for me.
Oh, that's fine. So 11, the character in season 4, she has lost her powers. They moved to California.
Did she get her hair back?
Well, she's got long hair. Yeah, she doesn't.
At least it's a fair trade.
She doesn't fit in at all. Obviously, she's getting bullied by these girls, and Mike comes to visit, and you know they end up like putting her in the middle of the roller rink and throwing a milkshake at her. Well, she finally loses her shit, and she picks up a roller skate and just clocks this girl in the fucking like right between the eyes. With
Yikes!
It. And like they take her to juvie and all that shit. I'm gonna tell my wife. Back,
She hit a girl with a roller skate.
She hit a girl with a roller skate.
God.
Was
Gangster
it on her foot, or she just
No.
mollywopped her?
like on the ground, wearing her
mollywop.
out because she said it's because she called my little sister ugly. I'm sure there was other out, but I told my wife, I'm like, you'll never guess what 11 did. What? So I thought of you. The girl was picking on her. She reached down, picked up,
Beat a bitch
She's
with
like,
a roller.
with a roller skate.
God
She gave me a high
bless.
five. So shout out to KJ Sparkles.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Never fucking with your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll fuck you up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
She and in an Atlanta kind of way too.
Yeah.
I want to have her tell, like, I want to just tell a whole bunch of the Atlanta stories one day, even if it's just for Patreon. Like,
It would have to be. You have to probably sign an NDA.
anything else?
No, I think that's it, man. I mean,
that's fair.
I'm sure there's other.
It was just
stuff.
1 week this time.
I know, right? It's
kinda new
weird.
for
It's
us.
like,
Casey. What do you got? You haven't been on in months.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while. It keeps coming up today.
I'm gonna speed round it. Stop me if it's interesting. It's probably not. But there are like 2 that I want to talk to, so I'll put them at the end.
All
right. Villains who aren't villains. Somebody wrote in about that. And
Yeah, I haven't seen
it. No. Sorry. Their question was.
The question. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember now.
sounds like a good name for a show.
I just listened to that recently. Go ahead.
My ultimate one was Dr. Doom. That's my favorite one.
Explain why you don't think he's a villain. I think it's open to interpretation, but
I mean, come on.
Of course it is. Yeah, he's a bad guy for sure. But like,
Yeah. Well, he was educated, right? We knew that. Doctor.
Yeah.
A learned doctor.
of doom, you might say.
Yeah. And he was running his own world essentially but in a communist kind of way. Mm-hmm. But it worked.
Yeah, it's not.
And he wasn't,
communism isn't inherently
exactly.
evil. Yeah.
And was really, he's just Russia. Like, he tried to do the same thing with Earth, but there was a resistance from the superheroes because he was viewed as an alien or as a villain just immediately for trying to impose his ways instead of the way.
Right.
But you wouldn't need superheroes if there wasn't already a problem where you were living in the first place. Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I like that. I like that explanation.
And then the White Walker from Game of Thrones, which is something we can talk about later if you guys watched it.
I did not.
I thought it was September.
No, it started yesterday.
Did it? Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and by
was asleep.
the time I realized it was out, I was like, it was 11 o'clock, and I was in the middle of a Stranger Things episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I'll just catch it later.
Well, since you guys didn't talk about, I'll just give a general good or bad. I'd say good.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great.
Kind of the same stories being told over again. Somebody's on the crown. Somebody's shooting for the crown.
Yeah.
You know, lineage and all that.
Yeah,
but all in all, if feels good that the show is back in
Were
a
there
way.
dragons in the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really good looking.
They look
fucking
great,
dragons.
man. I'm fucking excited for the
Sexy fucking
Yeah.
dragons
Let me
wearing
tell you what I would do with
sunglasses.
that dragon.
sunglasses.
You broke my heart when you told me the Heath Ledger hospital pyrotechnic scene wasn't orchestrated. It wasn't planned.
No, yeah.
Breaks my heart because it was so good, but it's kind of cool.
Makes
in
it
its
even
own
better,
way.
I think.
Yeah. I'll go a different way, but I get it.
Yep.
You couldn't be more wrong about street tacos. You fuck.
Bro,
All right, let's hear about it.
bro,
Yeah.
listen.
Thank you.
My man's got 20 gallons of ketchup on the table upstairs.
Yeah.
He has an invalid food opinion.
So I will say this.
I'll take the charges.
I'll
take the charges.
He'll take the charge.
I don't plea out. I fucking take my charges.
I had the same experience as you. I hear authentic tacos, authentic street tacos. I'm like, well, fuck. Taco Bell's delicious. So I know this shit is about to hit. And then you go to the truck and it's probably the most bland, the smallest, like raw onions, like, and you're like, this isn't even. I'd rather have Taco Bell, right? I agree with you in that, but the thing, we have an Americanized idea.
Tex-Mex is what we eat mostly. It's
which is delicious.
I fucking love.
I think it's superior.
Yeah, but I think it's all in the name. If they would have said instead of authentic street tacos, did they say traditional tacos? Something like that. It changes your perception of what, as an American, it changes your perception of what to expect.
So I will say this: the first time that I had them, I did not know what to expect. Then I got all my onions and my cilantro and my fucking
and
radish.
Radishes. Yeah, the radishes. I hate them.
So
and I can't.
But now I know what to. But now I know what to expect, and I've had them numerous times from all over the fucking country, and I'm just like, look, this isn't. And let me tell you, you want to have a bold conversation?
Yeah, sure.
The corn tortilla ain't shit.
Oh, okay, all right.
It ain't shit. I don't give a fuck what you put in it. You put that same fucking thing in a flour tortilla, it's better.
I like flour tortillas better.
Who doesn't? Everybody does. That has a fucking tongue.
Americans do.
That has a tongue and can taste things.
See,
I don't believe it.
I love corn tortillas.
No, listen. That shit tastes like recycled paper.
So I never should have brought this up because I also can't respect the fact that you don't like Litos, you fuck.
So I had an interesting epiphany about Litos recently.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've never had Litos. Not big.
I'm willing.
It's not convenient for me to get it.
I'm willing to go out
next time I come by.
I'm willing to go out on a limb. Litos might be great at whatever it's supposed to be.
That's yes,
but it's not pizza.
So that was going to be my argument coming in.
Well, what's Domino's Italian eatery then?
So even Domino's is pizza.
We're saying Domino's for those that are
I was like, wait a minute,
uncultured sloths.
But like, I just had this recently. So like
that was going to be my argument.
Okay, and I think it's fair. I you are right in that regard. You are right.
Thank you, good sir.
Now let me say this in addition, just to prove my point further to people who may be listening. You can have Nacho Supreme, and you can have a taco with a corn shell, which I'm okay with. Corn tortilla shell, I'm okay with.
If it's crispy, you're good.
I'll sacrifice the flavor for the crunch. But
you ever had a double decker taco, Bobby?
I have not. Oh, is that the wrap around it?
It combines.
No, that's when you poop in the top of the toilet tank and then you flush it and
after
it comes
eating
down.
tacos.
That is a double decker, but only if you AC Slater the toilet.
So, Nacho Supreme and taco may have the same exact ingredients on it, but it's fucking different, and they're not trying to be the same thing. That's how I view Litos with pizza.
Okay,
so
fair. I'm glad we cleared that up.
All right.
Because I ain't gonna have you slandering the name.
Yeah.
I revisited
it. It is made by terrorists, so that's a fact.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They were responsible for 9/11.
What are you talking about?
Litos Pizza. Oh, you haven't even seen that YouTube documentary yet.
Do I need a foil hat before I put it on?
Oh no, I'm just starting that rumor right now.
Oh yeah, please don't, dude. God, strike that from the record.
That's going to be on Fox News tonight. Don't pick up anything.
Somebody's going to believe it. You know it.
I hope somebody turned the shit off before I said I'm starting that rumor and just went to the internet.
Yes, you know it's going to happen. I don't know if it's because of where I'm at in life, but like, you know, your music reflects life, and you know, I revisited Kanye's Life of Pablo.
Oh, really?
I never gave it a chance. I didn't care to hear it. I didn't give a fuck about it. If I did hear something, I hated it. I genuinely think just where I was in life. I don't know where I was. I don't even know.
Because I'm in the same boat, but I know exactly why.
Interesting. And I'll say that what I believe is that Kanye was simply ahead of his time.
I think that's probably true most of the time.
And where I was at, I wanted old Kanye.
Oh, and he addresses that on that record.
I know, on the Kanye track, which is
it's amazing.
Oh my God.
I want that old Kanye.
What's he? Say the line, because
did to say Kanye.
You know,
that'd be so Kanye. It's like everything ends in Kanye.
Every single thing is third person, about him referring to himself in third person, about him being the old him, about it's like
and being the new him and wanting the old him.
I'm telling you, if you get it after this,
that hurts my head like that other conversation.
But it's so fucking genius. But I hate that I slept on it, and I don't know if it's necessarily my fault.
So I know why I slept on it. It was a Tidal exclusive.
Oh, see, I didn't realize
when
that.
it came out.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the title. It was one of the title launching.
And I wasn't going to
pieces,
do that. That's
and
right.
I wasn't going to
and
do
it
that.
ties into what we were just talking
Was that
about.
like 2012, 2013? When did that come out? Was it 2012,
That sounds
2013?
about right.
Because I remember where I was working when Tidal launched, and I want to say because I had a Samsung at the time, they gave you like
Oh, yes.
a free month or some
That's
shit.
right. That's
And-
exactly.
'cause
No,
Jay's-
that was Jay-Z. Yeah.
Because Jay dropped something exclusive
Right.
on
That
there.
was his album.
And I remember which album it was.
I forgot about that.
Shout out
guys'
to
memory
the
recollection is
Advanced
insane.
Auto Parts in
2016.
Huntsville, Alabama.
2016.
2016.
Actually,
What?
2016, to be fair, that might not be accurate. That may be when it hit Apple. It may not have been released in 2016.
Okay.
Right. Good point.
When did the Taylor Swift shit happen? Because it was right after that.
Right, because he had the song where he was like, I still feel like she owed me sex because I made that bitch famous. And I was mad at him then, now that I think about it. I was mad
over
at him.
that?
It just everything. He was losing it and he was getting away with it, and that makes me angry. It makes me, I feel like
I don't think he ever got away with anything.
Dude, don't do that. Look where he's at.
No, I mean, in the public eye, like I feel like they drag the fuck out of him all the time. Like the Mike Myers shit, they drug him.
In that field, just somebody saying your name is a plus in points. Mm-hmm. Chris Brown beat Rihanna up, and he took a dip, but he's up. You
That's
know what
because
I'm
he can really dance, though.
Wow. And you put out a song with Busta Rhymes.
Oh man.
I feel like I'm really hating on women this episode, and I don't mean to.
I know. Goddamn. All right, we can move on from.
But it's a good album. I like, but I still don't. I still wouldn't put it in his upper echelon. But my favorite Kanye album is the album that people hate. It's I like the Yeezus album, like a lot.
Is that the religious one?
No, it's the but that's Don. Oh Yay.
Yeah.
Yay is trash.
Yeah.
Yeezus is the one with all of the kind of like electronic punk influence.
So I like that, and I don't know if
Has
it
Black
was you that
Skinhead
said
on
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you that said it or my cousin, but somebody said that's when Kanye decided I'm not gonna be in this hip hop realm. I'm
gonna do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, and and there's a respect. Doesn't mean you gotta like what he's making, but you gotta respect what he's doing.
That's my favorite album of his. I think that objectively, his best album is my Twisted Dark Secret Fantasy, whatever that the name of that is. I can never keep the adjective straight on it.
That's hard because you got to know, like, what was it? College Dropout was the first, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, anything that puts you on the map, and I've always felt this about hip hop because of that sophomore slump. Like, your first album was everything that you've been working on your entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes your whole life to make your first
second album. Historically,
it takes 2 years to make your second album.
I hate being famous,
and I got nothing else to talk about.
And then the third album is The Road.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find it hard to top College Dropout because.
See, the thing is, my argument, and we don't need to stay on this too long, but Twisted Dark Secret Fantasy, it changed.
So hard.
Is that it?
I don't know. You just grab adjectives out of your head, bro.
It's something like that.
My Dark Secret. I don't know.
Dark Twisted Fantasy. Let's see.
Is it just Dark?
Yo,
Twisted?
real quick, which Kanye song is it? What? It's something like.
My beautiful Dark Twisted.
How are you going to ask me what I bring to the table? What is
on the
like?
table? Which I said the same thing about the bridge prior to.
So funny that line gets used oftentimes in like wrestling when a table doesn't break.
Oh, that's funny.
And they're doing a blooper reel. They'll always play that. I am the table because bouncing off a table that doesn't break sucks.
Find out wrestling is integrated with Kanye West,
bro.
He probably owns a portion
man.
of it. But I think that album changed rap music for 10 years.
Okay.
And as a result, I think that it's not that it's like it's because it's probably like my third or fourth favorite of his work, but the impact that it had, I think is still we're still feeling the ripples of.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue. I can talk about.
You guys talked about that scary movie X. It wasn't. It was a horror.
It's a drug, and it's not that scary as long as you get from a trusted source.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Don't do drugs.
X gonna give it to you?
Vin Diesel.
It was pretty unremarkable as far as everybody said. I thought you watched it.
Which one is it?
I think it might have been Joe.
I don't watch.
It must have been Joe
because I joked
Kid
that
Cudi was in it.
Oh, really?
And he didn't mention it, and I was like, I found out
probably didn't know who he
doesn't
was.
know who he is.
Okay, all right. Well,
What's the name of it?
You make an excuse for this one. It's called X, just the letter X.
I joked
70s porn shoot in the middle of bumfuck Texas.
I don't remember this.
when
at
Joe
all.
told us about it. I joked that it's about Vin Diesel. When he was
Yes.
I must.
And
Was
then-
I here?
I don't
I don't know.
Yeah. That's fine. I thought Kid Cudi's performance in that was interesting at the least.
He's an interesting
But
dude.
then you got through talking about Obi-Wan and didn't mention Ice Cube's son's performance.
yeah. I think he did a better job of playing Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton. To be
What,
honest,
really?
Yeah, that
I was impressed because I mean, what I noticed immediately was the dialogue change. He obviously doesn't talk like that. And I thought he did a decent job of covering it. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. That'd be like having me come on and try to do white voice. Like, I'm not good at it.
The fact,
you know what?
So first of all, that's
a good question.
That's
that's the mic. Is that the mic?
How
come we always got a minority on here when Joe's gone?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Even Phil.
The fact that I didn't say anything about it means that I thought it was okay.
Because I get that. Yes, yeah. But I wanted to point it out that you didn't bring it up.
Fair.
Because that means he just blended in just fine.
That's fair. That's fair.
You always mention how you guys are like trending in Finland.
Yeah.
And I was like curious. I was like, do they even speak English?
Do they not? I don't know. No, they speak Finnish. Do they?
They speak Finnish. So yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Like, how the hell?
But like a lot of the world speaks English.
So I looked up a few common words.
Okay.
Goeiemorgen and kiltos is good morning and thank you.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then do you know how you say hi?
Tell me.
Hey.
See, they picked that up.
Yeah. So
all the things we share, Finland.
I'm gonna speed through this. Spin the Coop was fire, and Simon Says was really good. And I'll say, like, I was changing. I don't know if it's because of where I'm at in life and stuff, but I'm really starting to finally appreciate what I've been missing out on in hip hop. I'm giving hip hop another chance.
Yeah,
and I'm enjoying it. It's been cool.
It's funny. It's it does click at a certain point. Like if you give it the time.
Yes.
Same thing happened with my buddy Jisk. Like he had written it off forever.
Yeah.
And like he just started getting, he's like, man, he's like, I get it now. He's like, I've just been listening to it with like the wrong ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still have to listen to it. I have to feel the energy, the vibe, the build up, the cadence. And then I got to go back and listen again to the lyrics because I can't understand those motherfuckers.
I agree.
But it's cool. It's still cool. Finish Blackbird, which I still recommend as a show that you guys need to watch. It does have a predictable ending, obviously, but good show. I think it's only like 6 episodes. Definitely worth your time. I'm watching this show called C.
S-I or S-E-A or S-E-E?
I think you should see it.
It was on my third guess.
Bobby, you missed my joke.
I know, I got it. I think you should see it.
I was trying to get my Chris Pinkerton on.
What is it about?
So it's a future state where no one can see, and if someone is born with vision, it's considered like they're witches. It's not real. And I forget what the consequences were and why we ended up where we were, but humans can't see. Everyone's blind and it's normal. Like the way they get around, you're like, holy shit, this is exactly
what's it on?
Apple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can still see it.
I can still see it.
And I'm telling you, it's really good, especially episode 1 has you hooked. Jason Momoa is in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I recommend it. I'm rewatching. You'll find this one interesting. I'm rewatching The Sopranos.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you find it?
Dude, when did that come out?
90s?
90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. So in the 90s, I mean, I was a younger guy, and I always put Sopranos in there with Goodfellas and Scarface. This shit belongs with Eastbound and Down. Like,
it's
comedies.
goofy.
It's goofy as fuck.
I
think out of context now, a lot of it probably does come across that way.
I had no idea. I'm still in season 1 and I'm like, this shit is pure fucking comedy. I mean, just the concept. There's a mafia guy talking to a fucking shrink. And he's like falling in love. He's bringing her coffee. Like the whole thing is hilarious to me. He doesn't really have respect. You know what I'm saying? Maybe later on it gets more serious.
You're not the first one to think. So I think I might have mentioned this. On YouTube, somebody has chopped up those episodes and put them in like with it's like an episode of Seinfeld with a laugh track on some of the shit you're talking about.
Maybe that's it. It doesn't have a laugh track, so it doesn't come off as comedy. But I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
It is funny. It is funny,
but mostly funny.
I don't know about that.
Dude, think about season 1. What does it entail? It entails him taking his mom to the senior home, and every time she sees him, she just disrespects him. Yeah. I don't want your cookies. Leave them in the front. And it's hilarious. It's not sad. They don't make it sad, which it should be. It's hilarious.
I might have to look at it again.
That might be.
The beef with his uncle is like every interaction, every once in a while, you're like, oh shit, somebody's about to die. Huh?
The uncle's funny as shit.
Yeah, but their interactions with each other are hilarious.
That whole fucking storyline about him eating pussy. Like, I don't know if that's in season 1 or season 2, but like I could now. I mean, looking at it objectively, I could see your point.
Dude, I'm more laughing and I'm more enjoying it because I can't wait to see what happens next with like Tony and hilariousness.
And then like Christopher with the shoes and all. I mean, it's like he gets his truckload of shoes and can't move them and shit. I mean, I could see.
Or they steal the suits and he's like, you could put 5 of them back on the rack on the truck and one of the racks stays with us. And the guys in the mirror, they just keep calling. That's you. Eh? They just keep calling me back.
Oh yeah, Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back.
Yeah.
Silvio Johnson.
Dude, the whole show. Anyways, I guess that's subjective.
What? He still is.
Yeah, I guess he still
He's
is.
Well, I thought the E Street Band was done.
I mean, maybe, but whatever. If they go on
That's
tour,
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. So, all right. Side story. I went to see Bruce Springsteen with my mom, and it wasn't Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. It was Bruce Springsteen and whoever. Nah, me. Oh, because I went with my mom. God damn it! I was trying to do something nice.
No, just Bruce Springsteen. I know those tickets are ridiculous.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a double flex.
I didn't realize it until I said it out my mouth.
I saw Neil Diamond with my dad.
Did you?
Yeah, no bullshit.
I saw Alabama with my aunt.
In Alabama? Damn.
Yep. double dipping.
Yeah, but it wasn't E Street Band was the point. And all he did was like sing nursery rhymes and shit. It was really fucking weird.
Yeah, that is
sounds
weird.
strange.
Because he didn't have the rights to the songs.
Because it's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Yeah, gotcha.
Interesting.
I'm almost done here. Did a fantasy football draft party yesterday.
How was that?
So COVID kind of put sports into perspective for me. I'm less interested.
Okay.
I guess things that seem more serious, and I don't have as much time for like games, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's an interesting take.
But I think I noticed it with other people too. But sat down in the draft party. It's a weird environment for me.
So was this in person? Or
Yeah,
did you do
we did it in
Okay.
person. So that's what I was excited for.
I'm sorry. Did you play during COVID? Did you guys do like a mock draft or a virtual draft during COVID? Okay.
No. If they did, I wasn't a part of it.
I got you.
So go into the room, happy to see the guys. Like was having a good time drinking. There's pizza.
Some work friends,
friends, people I never met. Like
Okay.
but mostly we're all associated with the same group of people.
Gotcha.
Just positive people having a good time, enjoying ourselves. But like what I hated was when it started. And now we're talking like, you're gonna don't get him at the number 3. He's 6'7", 220 pounds, and he's not explosive off the line. And I'm looking at this dude, House Pizza, and I'm like, why are we pretending? There's something about it's almost like fangirling.
Yeah,
and I'm not a huge fan of it. So
here's something that like it's a bold statement.
The Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, kind of, but people who play fantasy football can never say. Or fantasy sports can never say anything about anybody that does this shit.
I agree.
I'm doing I'm doing the Macho Man circle hand or plays Dungeons and Dragons. Because it's the same fucking thing. You're getting you're in too deep about something, and that's And
the only thing,
or you're a degenerate gambler.
It's the same thing. But they're trying to. You're fangirling, but they're trying to make it okay by it being sports, and now it's manly.
They said.
Yeah, agreed.
They
and
said
I'm not
fantasy
okay with
football is one of the main like drivers for like that. Whatever the Sunday football package because people want
they don't care about the game.
They just care about those players.
Exactly, which is okay in its own way if that's your thing. You know what I mean? But I think there's something weird about pretending to know anything about football and you don't. Or like, you're like the owner of this fantasy team, and you never fucking snapped the ball in your life. Like it's just weird.
Explosive off the line.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I heard
it's just funny when people talk like
like things like that. Those phrases were just getting thrown out there.
Yeah,
he's from Alabama. They got nothing but great product. They just produce great players out of there. I'm like, what the fuck? And even that, like, listen.
I know all about. I'm not a fan of Alabama as a football team, but I can tell you probably more about it than anyone should. And listen, they've been paying them boys to play football for 15 years. Ain't nothing new with this NIL.
Yeah.
So that's why they've been good. They've had the best paid offensive line in fucking country for 10 years.
Yep. And coach. Okay.
I don't think you have to make statues of people that are still alive. And I'm an Auburn fan, and there's a Cam Newton statue. Yeah. If you win a championship at Alabama,
I don't know. Michael Jackson had one during the History album, and I'm okay with that one. Even though it had the weird like panties over top of the pants.
Oh, the crotch piece.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I never cared for that.
You didn't like the crotch.
I never cared for that.
I invited you over the other day. We played a game called That's What She Said.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like The Office, the American version,
which is
just
the
one.
That's which is just as good as most American television, just slightly below the English television.
Ooh,
just slightly below.
What's another good British programming show? Yeah, exactly.
Are you being served is very good.
EastEnders. My grandma used to watch it. I think it's like a soap opera.
It sounds old as fuck.
No, I don't feel that way necessarily, but I do feel like the British Office is better. But just by a nose. Just by a nose.
The British nose. One of them big schnozzes is that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I don't know. Maybe a tooth that's sitting a little
You
perpendicular to the rest.
I might have mentioned. Did I mention last week that our British friend that loves The Office and does tattoos for a job? He had bought the box set, and I had asked him. There's a certain episode where they say the F word.
Yeah.
And the
You
R
mentioned
word.
that. You did mention.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And it's actually on the. He sent me a screenshot. They actually
shit.
say it on this DVD.
I want him to see that. After he watches that, I want to make him watch the British one.
I think he's seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he's seen it. He just hasn't talked about it. It's not really much to talk about.
Not true.
No, just 12 episodes.
It's
It's a tight 12.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 versus 9 seasons of 22.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got away
it's
more.
not. That's the problem though. It's not a fantastic 9 seasons. It's not. But as soon as the managerial staff starts
All right,
changing
cut it in
and,
half.
But see, that's my point. Is when you look at it as a body of work, the British one is rock fucking solid, short and
Why
sweet.
are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one that likes both. I'm the only one that
I watch
appreciates
that.
both.
Listen, I watch that show almost
have
every
you
day.
have you even seen a British one?
I have.
Okay,
It's fine.
I think you just have an affinity for Gervais.
I mean, I like him too, but I've seen him in some trash. That was the one where he played like the special needs guy or something. Like that was awful.
You mentioned that, yeah.
You know. And then there was one where he was taking care of his dad. Actually, that wasn't too bad, to be fair. But there was special need ones that wasn't any good.
This is the one I want to dive into.
Okay,
It's called Untold, and it's on
Netflix.
That's right.
Untold.
I can't. I can't.
True stories or something. Do you remember, since we were talking about sports, Monte Teo?
I've seen I don't know about that one.
Not offhand.
But is it all sports stuff on Untold?
Yes.
Like a series, but different topics?
Yeah,
kinda,
so the next
sorta?
one is the NBA referee that was gambling on games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah, we should know. Yeah, it was
Tanner.
No, that's Danny Tanner.
I thought you was really giving me some input. Holy sports.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But this Monte Teo was a huge, like the biggest star that Notre Dame University has ever seen. Mm-hmm. He was so big. He was bigger
one where
than.
he's getting catfished. Is that
So it was, yes.
Okay.
But it was before catfishing was catfishing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So rewind a little bit. He's a breakout star. He's doing great. He's going to go pro. Everybody wants him. Number 1 pick overall. He comes out his senior year and he's like, my girlfriend died. This season's dedicated to her, which is like the picture-esque fucking, everybody's like,
What a guy.
Team Teo.
Yeah.
Deadspin wanted to shit. It's a sports outlet, but like the initial, like one of the immediate, like ESPN is obviously the big sports thing. Deadspin was gunning for ESPN.
Okay.
Like you guys are fucking.
I always
shit
thought that was
reporters.
more like it was like TMZ, but for sports.
It is.
Okay.
But again, they're gunning for those big name people that just kind of fluff up the story. They get the facts, and they dug in, and they're like, "Who is this girl?" ESPN saying, "Oh, his girlfriend died," but who's his girlfriend? What happened? What's the story? So they dive in. This girl is not his girlfriend. Matter of fact, nobody's died at all. So is he in on it? Is Monte Teo in on this? Is he doing this to build this story up? That was the knee jerk reaction. I remember it watching it happen in real time, and I was like, "Fuck this dude! He's a liar." 03.
Okay, I knew it was a while.
It may have been sooner than that, but the years are all the timelines in
was
there,
in
and
the
they
odds,
literally
gotcha.
talk about it. Like catfishing wasn't even really a word. Like he basically had this girlfriend for 3 years that he had never met, and it was always like, "Oh, I can't make it. I can't fly out." All the catfish classics.
Is it a dude in a basement?
I don't want to. You gotta see it. You gotta see it.
This guy.
I'm not even gonna do it. I'm
not
serious.
what we do
It's two episodes. I highly recommend it because it's something that really happened, and it's really extremely entertaining.
Well, next time
whether
you come
like
back, you can
sports or
tell
not.
us how it ends. Because
What?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't have
Bobby's not
Netflix.
gonna know.
well, he won Netflix.
Come on, you ain't got that kind of time.
Bobby,
I canceled my Netflix.
Bobby can come over and watch it at my house.
Yeah. Invite.
I have to invite him to roll out the red fucking carpet. Engraved
and-
invitations.
That was it. I watched UFC. That was it, and I had a great time. Somebody was dethroned after a really long time.
I saw a clip of the British guy who won the welterweight. I'm thinking he was.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
this
yeah.
weekend.
Well, yeah, he's Jamaican, but he
and
lives
cut
in
a
the
fucking
UK.
promo on everybody, like a wrestling
He
style
deserved
promo.
it though. He deserved every
There was
second.
some good looking shit. I watched somebody posted a clip of it.
His that story, and I was gonna dive into it, but since you brought it up, it's inspiring. Like COVID hit, and he was in the UK,
Right.
and couldn't get to stateside to get
fight.
his belt that he deserved. So for 2 years, this guy was getting shelved. And 2 years in the fight game is a long time. You come
Right.
back with ring rust. You're getting older.
I'm sure he was putting in some reps over there, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same, man.
Right.
With a full crowd, you know. You're training with the same guys you've been training with, which aren't the best. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Until you get in that octagon, it's not the same. And again, I sound like those guys I was just shitting on.
Explosive off the line.
Explosive off the line.
How's his feet position when he opens?
Yeah, he's got to open his hips more when he throws that head kick. But
Yeah, he's got to turn that inside foot 90 degrees to
what a
really get that
fucking rookie.
snap.
He's a bum. He doesn't even deserve the belt. No, but I was really happy to see somebody that, you know, just basically overcame adversities. Because, again, if you're into sports or you're into fighting or whatever, like, it was good to see somebody that, for every reason, could have been like, you know what, it wasn't my day, but just fucking rocked it. It was cool to see. And that's it.
So I've watched She-Hulk. We've kind of covered it. I watched a movie on Amazon Prime, I believe, called 13 Lives.
Oh, you recommended that. That's the tunnel.
Yeah, so it
kids
is the
in the
tunnel.
cave.
I didn't watch it. I know what it is, but it's,
I thought
Maybe
somebody brought it up and they said you can't watch the show, you got to watch the documentary.
Oh, well, this wasn't a documentary. This was the movie.
Okay.
But it was like basically it happened like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something, or maybe 8 years ago. It was within the last 20 years. This like soccer team in Thailand, maybe.
Thailand.
yeah, I remember when it happened. I remember seeing it on the news.
They got
It's a big deal.
They got stuck in this fucking cave and they talk. They like it's a movie about the rescue efforts of it.
It's nuts.
But why was
It's
the soccer team
insane.
in the cave?
Like
were they doing like some
for fun?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Like, it's normal for them.
there's
Like
one thing
after
they never
practice, they go in the
explained.
caves.
It was like-
well, the variable was the rain.
It was a monsoon. It hit early,
gotcha.
and basically trapped them. And you know, it was just like
Was it a harrowing tale?
well, I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to slight spoilers. 99, 98, 97.
well, we've all lived it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But like, I'm not going to say how it ends, just in case you don't remember. But the way that they basically got him out was it was these like British
Experts.
and they basically went into these kids and they put them under anesthesia and knocked them out, put breathing apparatus on them and took them out. They're like,
Wow.
they're like, there's no way that they'll make the dive. Like they'll freak out. They won't make it.
So they put on an oxygen mask and drug them out, huh?
Put them under.
That's wild.
And then like zip tied their limbs together so they'd be the most narrow they could be to like fit through these tight passages and shit. But like I'll say like within 15 minutes of watching it, I was tired. I was on the edge of my seat, stayed there for the whole thing.
You said this was not the documentary. It
No.
was okay.
It was the movie.
Yeah. I
Does it have
just started that
Does it
yesterday.
have any names in it?
Colin Farrell.
So any names?
That's it.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably other people that'd be like, you know, he
Kid
was
Cudi? Kid Cudi in?
Kid Cudi's
Yeah,
in
right,
it.
yeah.
He does the
plays one of
soundtrack
kids.
too.
Yeah, one of the kids.
And then the only other thing that I watched or I did was I went to the Banksy exhibit.
Oh,
in
yeah.
in
Did you
DC.
post that?
Yeah, I posted a picture on Instagram, just under a sign that said, "This is not a photo opportunity."
What do you think?
Which I think was the place to do it. I loved it.
So was this? I mean, I've seen the ads for it. Is this supposed to be authentically his art, or is this just like?
Oh yeah,
rep?
oh yeah, no. It's his
He was probably
production.
he's probably actually watching the door the whole time.
So I think that too, and I also like there's like signs on it, like as you go in, they're like, look, you are being videoed, and that video can be used for anything.
Yep.
If you do not agree to this, do not enter. And so I was like I was like, man, don't pick your nose. Don't
right.
just be on your P's and Q's.
Where is it in DC?
It's gone now, but it was near Chinatown.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Office experience in DC soon.
Are you really?
Yeah, they set up like a
Yeah, the dive bars. What are not dive bars? What are they called? Pop-up bars or something?
Yeah, it's not a bar though. It's I mean, like they've set up the Dunder Mifflin office and the warehouse, and they had a Stranger Things one of those recently too. I just saw.
And
It's cool they do that, and they done the Friends, which I could give a fuck about, but they did the Friends one.
But I did want to point out a couple of things like they did, and like, you know, some people hate this dude, some people I like his work.
My favorite part of his work is people. I think it was $7 million for that painting, and then he shredded it.
Yeah. That's what got my
was
attention.
the art.
And then that got sold for $18 million
The shredded part.
You got too much motherfucking money.
That's
because
just
it only
dumb.
shred half of it.
That is the definition of the 1%ers.
So here's some information. Like he did this one like where it looks like a cave painting, but it's like this guy like with a shopping cart. And it says here, between 2003 and 2005, Banksy infiltrated several well-known museums where he hung embellished oil paintings. He started with Crime Watch UK, has ruined the countryside for all of us, hung at the Tate Britain, followed by museums such as the Natural History Museum, blah, 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 blah. Peckham Rock shows a supposed prehistoric figure pushing a shopping trolley. It was placed in the British Museum in 2005, accompanied by an authentic-looking information label. It took 3 days before anyone realized that it wasn't right.
That's funny.
The wooden replica on display was sold with the permission of Banksy as a postcard with history on reverse by the British Museum in 2018 during the exhibition. I object, Ian, et cetera, et cetera. But like that's it, and this is like the thing underneath it.
Hey, yo, come on. Oh my God.
There was like but here's a
you know who would have caught it? Your daughter.
Yeah. Some of these oil paintings, man, are just so fucking cool. Like that one.
That's dope.
Yeah, like he took like a bunch of like famous like landscape pieces and like, you know, perverted them basically.
See, I've seen lots of people that do that. They'll like go to the thrift store, buy paintings, and then like, for example, draw an ad in it. Yeah, that one's cool.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But there was a bunch of other like pranks and shit. One was Dismal Land. So he basically opened up a theme park. Here's a promotional image for it.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
But it's like it was a real theme park, and he opened it up. It was called Dismal Land. It's an apocalyptic theme park. In 2015, it was studied in. It was situated in the Tropicana, formerly Europe's biggest outdoor swimming pool. There were 4,000 tickets per day available for £3. Over 36 days, it opened. It attracted 150,000 visitors. Dismal Land was built in secret. Local residents were told the location was used for the filming of a new Hollywood crime thriller. Staff being hired were told they were extras for the non-existing film and were given a thank you print signed by Banksy.
Wow, that probably goes for $400,000 or some shit.
There were so many.
In the internet age, it boggles my mind that nobody knows who this guy is. Quote unquote.
Well, some people think they've got it figured out. You know, one of the biggest rumors was that he's
Kanye.
That he's the kind of lead guy for
the Gorillas,
Massive Attack.
Okay, I thought I'd heard one of those.
Because like because Banksy's from Bristol. Massive Attack is from Bristol, and there's like footage of the guy, I think his name is 3D, doing stencil graffiti work.
We talked about them
like
before.
Years and years and years before, you know, Banksy kind of became a thing. There was another one that was like, he made a whole bunch of fake money with like Princess Di's face on it, and it had, and it was called like Die Faced. It was like, you know, like, and then it had Charles Darwin on the back, said trust no one, and then he put like millions of it like all over the place. And I'm trying to think of there was this other one that I found interesting, and this will be the last one I talk about, I promise. So you know Danger Mouse is? Yep. He just put out an album with Black Thought this past Friday, for those who are interested. It's not my cup of tea.
I missed it.
But he's very talented. He also, one of his other claims to fame is that he put out the Jay-Z Grey album.
I remember that.
Where he took the acapella from the Black album and mixed it with instrumental sampling from the Beatles' White album and made the Grey album.
It was pretty good.
It was interesting. I like, there's a few of them, specifically the one that I think he sampled Helter Skelter for 99 Problems. And Glass Onion for December 4th, maybe. But both of those, like, whichever one sampled Glass Onion, and then I'm pretty sure Helter Skelter was 99 Problems. Those two were my favorites. Anyway, Danger Mouse label was the same label that signed Paris Hilton.
So,
and
like musically,
oh, like not this.
You put out an album,
you know, like Universal or something like big fucking. You know what I mean? So it's like
a boutique label, though.
Yeah, like a big fucking like a major.
Okay,
you know, so they got it early. Obviously, the album gets turned in, right? And they're like, okay, here it is, and then they push it, they press it up, and then people in the office were listening to it, and they're like, oh my god, this is so awful. So like they sent Danger Mouse an advanced copy of it, like somebody that was in the label was like, dude, you just got to hear how fucking bad this is. So he sent it to Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse happened to be hanging out with Banksy during this era. They listened to it, thought it was awful, went to a record store, broke in, stole all of them, all of the
the
press copies, replaced them with their own mock-ups of the insert art. And I think a different music, a remix, Danger Mouse remixed the music, and Banksy redid all of and it had stuff like Paris Hilton standing in front of like all these homeless people on Skid Row, and it was like half the key to success is just showing up and like all this and then like so that store sold all of those albums as her album, like shit like that. One last one, I forgot. I know I lied. They went to like, I'm gonna fuck the cities up. It's either one or the other, and then the one. But they went to like Australia, and they went to Melbourne, and they went into this zoo. And they like did all of this graffiti stencil work like in the exhibits. Like they like broke into the animal exhibits and like did all this shit, like talking about zoos and whatever, making all these statements or whatever. And then they went at like 6 o'clock in the morning when the zoo opened to kind of like get footage of their work, because it was at night, so they couldn't really see it. And the zoo had already painted over it or put tarps over it. Like it was all fucked. So they never got any documentation of it. So they did the same thing in Sydney. They went down to Sydney.
They were ready for it.
I'm not sure if it's up or down, to be fair. I just said they went down to Sydney. Like I know the fucking country.
Like the devil in Georgia.
but they went down to Sydney, and this time what they did was they just had these cardboard signs with like a whole bunch of like writing and, like little lingos and slogans on them, and threw them into the monkeys and ape cages, and like the apes like started carrying them around and shit. And it said stuff like I'm really just a celebrity in disguise, free me. Or like others were like saying like help me escape. Like, and they're just running around with these fucking signs.
Wild.
Yeah, it's pretty great. The last thing I wanted to comment was on the music thing with I'm So Afraid. The week before, I had Mike Jones Still Tipping with no problems whatsoever.
Right.
I'm So Afraid flagged. Just that little bit of I'm So Afraid.
They don't play around with samples.
Yeah, flagged and demonetized.
The problem that Still Tipping is probably 4 different samples rolled together, and they're like, we can't figure out what this gumbo is.
But I'm gonna get paid for the day though, right?
Yeah. We'll see what it does. We'll see how this. We'll see.
I'll give you double down on what I make, man.
My man.
Yeah. Let me see.
Did you enjoy your coffee? There you go. I'm glad you liked it.
Let me see, because you might not be too far off. Let me see what.
We're gonna look at the credits.
I'm gonna look at Moobs and Mitts episode. Moobs and Mitts.
That was hilarious.
That was episode 361. Let's see what that episode made. No, analytics. Just as a fun practice.
Bobby, while you're looking that up,
it made $1.70. Jana just came down with the dog.
With the puppy.
Outside, so I'll take her out afterwards.
Okay, no worries. Just keep an eye on her, though. Of course. Yeah. So that episode made $1.70. So yes. You haven't quite earned the coffee yet.
Okay.
But
sure, we'll see.
But keep coming back, and we'll roll it over.
Yeah. I wish I could link the show like on my IG or something like that. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't. Like I never tag you in anything because that particular you have some stream crossing.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
How that is.
It's the same thing with
going across the stream.
Same thing with Gomez. Like he's got it on there too.
Yeah,
because you guys are so proud of some of that stuff. So.
I might have to for the world.
You guys are mopping extraordinaires.
Yeah, well, when you're good, you're good.
I hear you. So that does it for me.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been working a lot with the dog. The dog finally likes me now.
The dog was a lot more hospitable to me petting her today than last week, because last week she was like, so there's to do with anybody.
There's the rule of 3s with shelter dogs. They say, right, there's 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and it usually takes 3 months for them to kind of settle in. But like she like snuggle with me yesterday. I worked on Nerd Rage. That's another thing I did this week, was I worked on the best of Nerd Rage. I'm caught up to episode 359.
Nice.
But while I was working on it, she just laid up and put her little head on my thigh and just laid there, and I was just like, having a good moment.
He's a sucker already.
Yeah, for sure.
We knew this was going to happen.
For sure. I mean, I knew it was going to happen too. All right. Notes.
Are you going to Nashville?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I would have liked to. And I might go to a future one, because he offered. Basically, I need certain logistics to work out for me to really do any sort of extensive travel anymore.
Puppy doesn't fall into that at all.
And I'm not that kind of draw. I would feel uncomfortable asking for what I need. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But he's willing to make some. We talked a little bit about future stuff, so maybe it's the next one. So Nerd Weeks. Okay, 36 titles removed from HBO / Warner Brothers. So HBO is going through it. I hope they don't disappear. This guy that is getting all this slack or flack. Flack is the word I'm looking for.
You give slack, you get flack.
Yes, I don't get enough slack. I'll tell you that. Anyway, he supposedly is also the guy that kind of turned Discovery Channel and what was the other one that was like Discovery Channel into like a bunch of pieces of shit. Where
TLC.
it was like Honey Boo Boo. Yeah, like all of that kind of nonsense.
Whoa.
We're not going to slander.
Honey Boo Boo is a saint.
We're not going to slander Honey Boo Boo.
She's right there with Litos.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But her mom on the other.
Yeah, no, she's trash.
So I wanted to see so HBO Max originals that are getting canceled, it looks like. 12 Dates of Christmas, About Last Night, Aquaman King of Atlantis, which is a cartoon series, I believe. Close Enough, Ellen's Next Great Designer, Ismay and Roy, The Fungies, Generation Hustle, Generation, Infinity Train, Little Ellen, My Mom, Your Dad.
They're canceling my mom.
And your dad?
And your dad?
Not my dad.
Yeah.
No, they're canceling us.
Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, son of a bitch, not Ravi.
Summer Camp Island. It's Not Too Late Show with Elmo. The Runaway Bunny. Theodosia. Tig and Seek. Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs. HBO Originals My Dinner with Herv and Cher. Cartoon Network's Dodo, Elliot from Earth, Mau Mau.
Cartoon Network's what?
Dodo.
Oh.
Elliot from Earth. Mau Mau, Heroes of Pure Heart. Mighty Magic Swords.
I wonder if Elliot from Earth is an ET.
Dude, they got a show called OKKO.
I know that show.
Let's Be Heroes, so that's canceled.
I'm familiar with OKKO from the kids.
Uncle Grandpa.
That show's trash.
Victor and Valentino. And then acquired titles: Detention Adventure, Messi Goes to Okidi, I don't know. Mia's Magic Playground, The Ollie and Moon Show, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, Make It Big, Make It Small. Hey.
Yeah. That's only coming out on HBO.
And Squish. So anyway, like they're canceling a bunch of shit. They're also canceling Ellen. Like, I don't know what's happening over there.
Well, I mean,
it's what they call a big shakeup, though. I'll tell you,
it is a big shakeup.
I bet a lot of it has to do with
when worlds collide. AEW is on TNT, which is a Warner Brothers property.
Oh, really?
So there's some scuttlebutt about what they're going to do with them because.
But see, that's great.
It's the highest rated cable show on the day it comes on.
And of the wrestling programs, I feel like, and they talked about it last week, it feels like AEW's cream of the crop. Well,
I mean, it
doesn't have the history,
sure,
right? But it's up there.
I just want to correct something. It's not that the Ellen show; it's that Ellen's new shows. Which
Ellen canceled. Her show's over anyway. She quit doing it. She's apparently a monster. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
What was that over?
She's just her show.
Oh, like
she's
behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
she was like
that's right. Yeah, a tyrant,
shitty to people.
Yeah.
But that's usually what makes people successful.
Hate to say it. You think me and Dame cool? We assholes.
Yeah.
Looking out for number one, man.
Tim Burton's Addams Family picture looks great. I mean, like looks the part anyway. Like
somebody was hating on that. Was it you? Somebody was hating on that.
I don't know. I don't remember hating.
I was excited for it.
I think it's going to be fun. Who is that playing Gomez?
So Gomez is the one that's a little off. It's that dude, I don't know his name. Puerto Rican dude. He was in
Gomez.
I don't think so. It's the same thing.
Oh boy.
But he was in Boogie Nights. I don't know. He's in a bunch of shit. I think he's in Carlito's Way. He's in a bunch of shit. That like heavier dude.
Yeah.
But like that's the one thing is Gomez always strike me as being like a handsome like smooth dude, and this dude is not that. This dude's kind of
I'm sure there's a reason.
Bulldog face. But it's Tim Burton. I'm willing to give it a shot. It's weird. I'm in 2022. Tim Burton's doing Addams Family and Rob Zombie's doing the Monsters. It just seems like a weird world.
That's
to
what
live in.
somebody was hating on.
Oh, it
Rob
was
Zombie's the Monsters. Yeah.
And then the final note here is Light the Wick, new John Wick prequel series.
Yes, finally.
So did you read this at all?
Yeah, I did.
What's it about?
So basically, the show is called The Continental. It's supposed to be on Stars.
Ooh, a show? A
Yeah,
series?
yeah.
Is Keanu?
Hang on.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm so excited.
It was supposed to be on Stars, and they talked about this pre-pandemic even. Apparently, Bobby's friends over at NBC Universal acquired the rights to the films. Like, they were going to be on Peacock, I guess, which they have been showing them on TNT and TBS and Sci-Fi, which are all Warner Brothers. So, two big bulls fighting over this. So they're moving the show to Peacock, and it's the Continental. It's set in the 70s. It is the story of Ian McDermott's character, Winston.
I knew it. I knew that's what they were going to do.
Walk away.
God damn it.
Why? You don't like that?
I just think it would...
Keanu ain't going to do a TV show, bro. I mean, he might be on a couple. They might do some... It might set up as a flashback or something, but I just couldn't imagine him doing...
I'm good with McDermott's story. I'm excited for that, but
and the guy they cast... It's going to work. Yeah. He's kind of... I mean, as long as he can get the vibe down.
The guy that played the Emperor? McDermott?
Ian McDermott from Deadwood.
Ian McDermott is also...
Not Ian McDermott. What's his name?
Ian.
Not that. Fuck, now I gotta look.
That's who that is?
Your pistols are no good here.
While you look that up, I'm just worried that the whole thing with John Wick's story is like, you never saw him lose his wife, but his wife is gone. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought, and you knew he was an assassin, but he's not an assassin anymore. So when you say the prequel to John Wick, that's all I want to hear about. Him losing his wife, him being an assassin. Let me see that bad motherfucker. You know, I don't think you're wrong. When I hear prequel, that's what I thought. But to go back to not Ian McDermott, but
I'm gonna look it up. Ian McShane.
Is
it McShane?
It could be.
When you go back to him,
Swearingen.
That's cool. I do want to hear that story, but it completely rules out seeing John Wick's story.
Yeah,
because Keanu's only getting older.
I apologize.
It's just a spinoff, really. A prequel spinoff.
It is. And I'm cool with that.
It's in universe. You're still gonna have gold coins,
but it just rules out seeing the prequel. You're not gonna get Keanu. Keanu's only getting older.
Well, maybe somebody will play a young Keanu at some point in time.
Not up for it.
All he got to say is, yeah.
And I believe Bogus is in there.
Lots of guns.
You killed my dog.
The Matrix is bogus.
We could all play young Keanu.
Yeah, well, let's just fucking audition.
Well, I mean, according to Joe, he doesn't need a face anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Just
it still maddens me constantly to think about.
I miss that guy. I want to see him.
Yeah, he's working. He's working his ass off.
Oh my gosh,
are we supposed to hear from him?
Yes, we are. Good segue.
Thank you.
Segue.
It's just like a scooter off a cliff, bro.
All work and no play makes Joe a anxious boy, though. So I hope he's taking care of himself. We do have a couple questions. One is directly in response to last week with Joe from Willie Whammo, who says, to follow up last time, what I love about Yu Yu Hakusho is the story and slower paced action battles. The heavy thinking of one opponent over another, especially I should not be the one. Kuwabara. He doesn't turn his back on his friends and his honor code and never ever gives up. Like when he willingly took beatings to save his friend's job. Kuwabara is what all men should be like. When watching a show, I usually find one character that I see as a father figure type character, and Kuwabara hit it out of the park. But to clarify, I've seen a lot of shonen, Naruto, Jojo, Maha, dude, it's like a fucking foreign language. I guess it is.
It is, yeah.
Harem, not Spot a big isekai person, but dude, people should just write in about nerdy ass shit that I have no fucking concept of.
They might be fucking with you right now. And Joe's in on it.
Just like all these all these people pointing out that King Lion from Kang Toys looks like a Zoid, and I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Is that a Power Ranger?
You know what a Zoid is? I heard you say that, and you probably got flamed for that.
Well, people were like, how can he not know? And then there's
actually in the 80s,
and then there's plenty of people that responded like, well, it actually wasn't really big in the US. It was more big in Europe and Asia, and that's why it's been out like
5 times in the States already.
Man, I've never heard.
I'm gonna send you a video.
No, please don't. Please don't.
We'll get through this epic.
All right.
Do you need me to read these words?
No. But that's
more anime adjacent than you are.
But that's a fact. But that slower 90s anime strategy feel was so damn good. Kind of the same as the original Dragon Ball. A cast of characters getting stronger and having strategic fights. Anything similar to that is great. Also, show I want to recommend, it's called Misfits and it's on Hulu. 5 young adults get superpowers mostly based off their personalities and try to use them to fix their own lives. Instead, they end up with community service and have to stop new and evils from the same source.
I started that.
Very funny show. Yeah. Adios.
Is that anime?
No, that sounds like live action.
Yeah, live action. Okay,
sure.
Is it? Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that question was for Joe, right?
Yes.
There's
And
a bunch of senior
I
citizens too.
wonder if there's a way, Bobby.
There is. Let's have Joe talk about it.
You got to read that again?
So the only thing I can think of to recommend would be Fairy Tale or One Piece. If you haven't seen them, I haven't watched Fairy Tale myself, but I know the vibes. And I can't recommend One Piece enough. I always recommend One Piece, and it's fucking great and it's long. You got 1,000 episodes to fucking keep you busy.
There he is.
And hey, I can actually give some feedback on that. My wife, we need to get that on the board. My wife, we need to put that on the board.
I also wanted to have a good senses of humor.
Watched Fairy Tale and loved it. Come to find out, Fairy Tale is just kind of a One Piece kind of ripoff. It's nowhere near as long, but she loves One Piece as well, and like has a ton of like collectibles. Actually, just ordered a whole bunch more. She started watching it again, and it's long as fuck. The animation is pretty trash for a lot of the episodes, especially early on. Yeah,
I just started it myself.
One
and I was
Piece?
like, this is terrible. Yeah. Well, not the show, the animation.
Oh, you thought the animation was trash on Fairy Tale? Or
Sorry,
One Piece?
I started One Piece, and I said this is trash, but I was referring to the animation. The show is enjoyable.
So I'll tell you,
I like the Zorro character.
That's her favorite too. That's
my dude.
She likes Zorro. So no, Zorro is who Krista has like all those statues of the same person. That's Zorro. It's to do with the sword in his mouth. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Green hair.
Green
Yep,
hair,
that's him.
Yep. So
Cool guy.
Yeah.
we have a theory here that people who watch anime are more likely to deal with bad content because I don't know if you know this,
Oh boy.
but everything's got really good parts.
They have a higher tolerance.
They have a higher, and people have said, yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, I thought a Chris joke was coming.
No.
Okay.
Dude, I've had anime fans write in. And
They're
be
like, no, yeah, you're
dude,
right.
You're probably right.
Because you have to, it's like, once you get through the first 300 episodes,
then it really
picks up.
It really finds its stride.
What?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like all these, look, if you like it, you win, right? That's his thing. But like,
It was Adams, to be fair.
okay, either way, here we are. So the fact that some of these, like there's 1,000 episodes of One Piece.
Yeah.
1,000. And I don't know, and correct me if I don't know that you can say, watch this story arc. Is it going to make sense if you watch episode 351 through 378? That's a good story arc. But do you have any fucking clue what's going on? Are they referring back to episode 273? Is it like when you used to read comic books, there'd be an asterisk and it said Marvel Comics Secret Wars episode 4.
Yeah.
He had sex with my mama, and it's got an asterisk beside it and tells you when it happened.
Or even like, do you remember? So here's an interesting question. I do have fucking one thing I didn't want to forget. Interruption. I watched a show on HBO called The Rehearsal. It's a live action. It's a documentary style show where they basically take a person that has like I have an interview coming up, and I am trash at interviews and I need help, or I have anxiety, and this guy like builds a fake set and like practices working with them and then like does it with them.
It's a reality show?
Yeah, it wasn't any good. Don't watch it.
It didn't sound. I was like,
It wasn't good.
Sound
It wasn't good. I don't recommend it. I wanted to get it off my chest though.
Tell me about a time.
And then what was I just going to say about?
Oh, you literally brought that up to tell us don't watch it.
How much you like anime? I think it was the topic.
Yeah, it was something about what you were just saying.
We're talking about the willingness to get through bad content for good content.
Let me just stop real quick.
All right.
So I went back, and it was the "you had sex with my mama" that clued me in. When was the first? I'm just being honest.
I mean, that's from Half Baked. That's what I'm talking about.
When was the first time that you bought all of the tie-in material to a comic book story?
Oh, like all the
crossovers and
I got a recent answer for that. It was the not Harley Quinn, the new one. I forget her Punchline. Anything that had anything to do with Punchline, and I told you why I thought it was going to be the next big thing. And even if it didn't, I found it entertaining to think that Joker has a new girlfriend. So like, what's the backstory? What's her story? What's this? What's that?
Way back.
I got everything I could.
I'll probably say like the Infinity War comic.
So mine was
maybe,
too.
and I don't think I got tired of trying to get them all because it was like literally every fucking Marvel book for 3 or 4 episodes.
After
they know what they're doing.
After Infinity Gauntlet, I wanted to
Infinity Gauntlet's what it was.
I wanted to read something that had all of the. I wanted to read the full picture.
Yeah.
I bought all the fucking tie-ins to Infinity War. Fucking awful. Like I was like, none of this shit helps.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like all nonsense. It's like no wonder they left this out of the story. It's like It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe television series. Like you don't need it.
Yeah, it's like you don't need it. It's just there. It's like an addendum.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
All right, we have a couple more questions, but not too much. So there's wiggle room in here if anybody has anything. Sanjay wrote in.
What up, Sanjay?
And said, "Jai ho, you motherfuckers. Bobby is right. Slumdog has Bollywood tendencies. Minus the extreme poverty, child sex trafficking, and gang violence. The dance scene was during the end credits. Song is called Jai Ho, J-Ho. I mispronounced that. I fucking had a fucking 50-50 on that, didn't I? But you know what was not at the end? The scene where kidnappers blind a child and have him beg for money as part of their slave ring. I'm joking, obviously. As Bobby says, if you like it, you win. I guess Bollywood is not for everyone. You know, hot Indian women dancing in the rain. Again, just kidding. And don't tell my white wife." And he put a mad W's on that bitch. Not his wife being a bitch, but on that word white. I just want to specify.
Oh man, get the shovel.
I just want to specify. I wanted to share 2 experiences from my ongoing collection setup. When I finished my Transformer room, my white wife couldn't care less, but my parents were amazed and truly awestruck. Look at Indian
That's
parents
awesome.
being supportive. I have like all my Indian friends are all usually at war with their parents, so that's nice to hear. I mean, not that I have like this overabundance. I feel like I'm digging it deeper. They took their time looking at each shelf. I think in a way it was a validation of the childhood they gave me. And then my dad knocked over a Goku figure. He begged for forgiveness. It was very funny to say the least. What have your parents thought of your collecting over the years? Would you like to go first?
Never really had any negative things to say. I think, you know, once we moved and I had the basement set up here, I think it was impressive the way, you know, I had it with the cases and everything set up. And they'd ask questions about things, but it wasn't. I mean, I've legitimately almost always had toys around my entire since I was, you know, a teenager even. And let me be more specific: action figures or Transformers, not any other kind of toys. You pervs out there.
My dad, my mom. I don't even think she knows.
Yeah.
My grandma never said a whole lot about it, except I'll never forget one time I convinced her. My grandma hated driving, hated it. Mm-hmm. And
so your dad's side or your mom's side?
my dad's side. Mm-hmm. And I convinced her. She was like my mom growing up, and I convinced her to drive me to Toys R Us on Rolling Road, at 40 and Rolling Road, mm-hmm. And she hated every fucking second of it. And we got there. She put the car in park, an old Chrysler Reliant.
Yes,
and
K-cars.
It later caught on fire. It wasn't all too reliable, if you ask me. But put it in park and stopped and looked at me and said, "When do you think all this is going to stop?"
How old were you?
I was probably 16, 17. And I was like, I didn't have my driver's license until I was 19 years old. And I was like, "Oh, what?" And she was like, "Toys." And I was like, "I don't know. Whenever I don't want to do it anymore."
Dude, that reminds me of this comedian. He was like, it was him and his grandma, his abuela,
25 years old,
and his son was like 6, and he's like rocking around, he's grabbing his penis because, you know, he's like, you know,
it's fun.
Yeah,
I still do it.
So the grandma goes, "When do you think he's gonna stop doing that?" And the dad starts grabbing. He's like, "I don't know. You're gonna have to ask somebody older than me."
That's a good one.
But anyway, so I was like, you know, whenever I don't feel like doing it anymore, I'll stop.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I took a break from it shortly after that, ironically, but then I came back to it like when things got better. So like, you know, she died, you know, and I was out of it kind of when she died. So like, as far as she knows, I kind of moved on from it. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
I was going to, my dad's a craftsman of sorts. You know, he's always build things. And he's been very impressed with the diorama stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's incredible. How'd you do that kind of stuff?
I'm curious why it matters. You know?
What do you mean?
Like,
I think it's the optics. I mean, I think it's different now than it was even 5 years ago, you know, having a toy collection.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, you know, I've said this a million times. I'll say it. I don't have a closet full of golf clubs I don't swing. I don't have a closet full of guns I don't shoot deer with.
Yep.
I don't have
a garage full of motorcycles.
I don't have. I always said, well, my wife, she's completely fine with everything. At one point in time, she was a little rocky. I said, "Listen, if you want me to, I can get 3 fucking cuddies and put them in the yard on blocks and quote unquote get around to them someday.
Right.
Or I just have a fucking curio cabinet full of fucking toys
and a little Detolf.
That's all it is. I didn't have the Detolf.
I have a little Detolf. My dad, he's seen my basement at pretty close to where it is now, which is pretty close to completion. He has no
attachment to it, right?
Not even does he have no attachment. He has no concept of what he's looking at. It's like for all he knows, all this shit cost $1.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, he has no concept
of the value.
But there's something to be respected about the organization, the cleanliness, the care.
But he doesn't give a shit. All he sees is that I have all of this stuff. He knows it costs more than $1, and I guarantee you, in his head, he's thinking, looks like a lot of retirement money.
He's like, even if I sold all of these for $1.
Looks like a lot of retirement money. Looks like a lot of kids' college fund. Looks like a lot of kids' wedding fund.
But there's nothing to suggest that you're not doing that.
I know. I'm just I agree.
Sure.
I'm going to give you his number.
Take the drive.
But I know, like, he sees it as being completely valueless.
Yeah.
It's not like he's repulsed by it or says anything to me about it. He just walks down, looks around, and says something like, something else, and then goes on about his day. Like, he doesn't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
You know, he thinks it's all strange. Like, I mean, my dad actually grew up reading Batman comics, like, you know, when they were like kind of new, you know.
Right.
So like, he'll look at some of this stuff and it's like still foreign to him.
Sure.
I'll tell you, he broke my heart. He broke my heart with collectibles one time. I'll tell you this. I got it fucking hanging out there too, because you know what I like to do? Remind myself of pain.
Yep.
I bought him. He was a firefighter. He was a firefighter for 33 years. He retired a captain. I was into Star Wars. I bought him a Star Wars 3 3/4 figure of a firefighter. He had like a little fire display. A lot of firefighters had this shit. It's like, it'll be like a little toy engine and
all the shit you can buy at Hobby Lobby.
A little shield, and then some of his stuff from his own career will be mixed in. And I was like, man, I'll add this to his display. It'll be like a little reminder of me, but also I'm recognizing his career, and he can keep it on card and everything, whatever, and like put it with all of his stuff. Because we watched Star Wars together growing up, you know, like I thought it was a thing. And there was if you watch episode 3, when that ship is coming in to Coruscant hot, the two fighter ships like guided in and are like suppressing the fire as it comes in. And it was a toy of that pilot, and I gave it to him, you know, as like just like, here's something between us that we kind of shared and whatever. When he moved from West Virginia down to Hilton Head, he gave it back to me. Like, he gave me a box of shit that he didn't want, like a lot of fire department shit, a lot of like stuff from his career that maybe he thought I would want. And in that box was that fucking figure. It fucking broke my heart.
How were your interactions? Like, when you gave him the was there explanation behind it? It was like, hey, this is the pilot.
Yeah, and actually,
it means a lot to me. Because
we can't
exactly.
Yeah, but we can't talk that way.
I get it.
Like, he's not interested. I told you the one time I told him, do you want to talk about our relationship?
I want to mediate you guys.
He said I'm not your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, it's just an old school.
Huh?
How old were you then?
18.
Yeah. I'd love to just like coach it. Like, you sit there, he sits there.
He would be like, "Who's this guy? I'm not talking to him." Like, he's a private person.
Yeah.
And he's
super old school,
and he does not like to be.
He's got an awesome mustache. Does he still keep that shit lined up? Does he keep it
so my problem is
he does.
But I don't have, like, look at your life. I don't have a lot of respect for people, and granted, you're here partly a lot because of him. You know what I mean? But I don't have a lot of respect for people that are so goddamn stuck in their ways and so goddamn opinionated about shit that they don't like. I'm doing fine. Despite what you think.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I don't think he thinks too much about it in general. Like, I think that he thinks it's just of no value. And I think in his mind, like, therefore, it's of no value for him to think about. It's of no value for him to have a feeling about.
I'm past the toys. I'm just talking about his son.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's different. Like, dude, I don't want to get too into this, but like, the amount of time that I just spent with him, and I love my father, and I respect my father, and I appreciate him because he stepped up when nobody else did. But the amount of time and access that he had to my children for a week.
Oh, you mentioned that.
Did not invest into them. Like, I'm just like, man, come on.
I was listening to that live. Do you think he's got a new wife, I'm assuming?
No, I mean, he married her in 2003. He's been dating her since 93, 94.
So do you think she was like, you need to spend more time with your grandchildren? And then they just did that, but he still doesn't know how to spend his time with them.
So that's a valid thing, right? That he doesn't know how to.
That's a good point.
But then the same could be said for me. The same could be said for because
he got grandchildren.
No. That he doesn't because he doesn't communicate with me either.
Right, but that's years in the making, right? Like you guys have your habits, you know what lines.
Or Laura, and the same thing could be said of his wife.
Yeah,
who I like also.
Sure,
but neither of them communicated with us about anything about our lives, which is fine. I don't need to talk to my dad about my life. Right. Or about my kids' lives.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and it's not that they don't care. I think they genuinely love the kids. It's just like, I'll tell you what I think it is. I think they have become so isolated that they don't even consider a world outside of theirs.
That's spot on, I'm sure.
And I've seen that a lot. And now that's all they can talk about.
Well, I remember, you said about Jana going to lunch with them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's
just like their garden.
About themselves.
Like what the fuck? Ask the kid what she likes to do in her spare time, what she's passionate about, what she like.
Where you want to go? What you want to do? Tell me.
My dad is
just joking.
Yeah. My dad's no spring chicken. You know what I mean? Like every minute should be, but I mean, like he's on his iPad. He's fucking, he's like, what are you doing?
Well, that's impressive.
Well, I mean, like it's like three things. Check my email.
Yeah.
Play solitaire.
YouTube. Solitaire.
On
heavy on it.
$1,000 iPad.
Heavy on it. So yeah, but I mean, I don't think that he. I don't think that he looks down on me for it. Like I just think that he's just like, I mean, who gives a shit? This is dumb. Like fine. You got a lot of these things. Cool. I don't care. I don't, what I mean? Like, once again, it's my life.
Yeah.
He's not really curious to know much about my life or my kids' lives. He's, what I mean? He wants to spend time. He just doesn't want to invest in the time.
Right.
And then Sanjay has and obviously I'm dealing with it fine.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Sanjay says, since I now have a defined collection space, I am much more selective of what I buy. Over the last 2 years, I would buy with an idea in mind and then throw most of the purchases in storage. I'm now focusing on curating the collection, as Bobby would say, and only adding or removing pieces if they add value to the space as a whole. In many ways, it is refreshing not chasing every pre-order on BBTS. Have you noticed differences in your collecting habits with each year's of lack of space you've had? So I could say I'm at a point now where I pretty much know the empty spaces I have. I pretty much know what I want to go in them, and I'm done.
Seems like you guys get this question like every week.
We talk a lot about this kind of stuff. So I've stopped pre-ordering as much as I used to. Like I'm not ordering the new Mythic Legions wave. I'm not ordering any of it. And one reason is, location wise, they do so many shows around here and they always sell the shit for basically the same. So I can go pick it up when I want. Mm-hmm. And because otherwise I'm tying up $600-700 sometimes for a wave of figures that I won't see for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? I've stopped. You ready for this?
Tell me.
Stop the presses. I've really stopped pre-ordering Mezcos.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, tell me.
I get overwhelmed with those fucking
accessories.
Figures. There's so much shit.
Yeah, I know. You have mentioned that.
There's a new Pink Skull set I have at home. I've never even opened it because it's got like band instruments and so much shit. I'm like, give me my fucking wrestling figures that come with extra hands and that's it. Or basically like Marvel Legends.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like overwhelming.
Like I know, like I have little empty spots and like I know exactly for the most part what I want in them. And then I have little spots where I'm like, and this is for the things I don't know I want. And like, but then I'm in the twilight of this shit. And I know people be like, well, you say that every year. And I do, but like, I'm really like, I mean, you guys were here today that Kotobukiya Catwoman is sitting on my counter, right? And it's an old unit. I just talked to you about my Kotobukiya Psylocke that I got. Like I am cherry picking the things that I want, and once I get them, I'm done.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that I'm done with content. Like I'll do Nerd Rage until people don't want to do it anymore. I'll do Wine and Cheese, Bob Boogie Bob. I'll do reviews as long as people keep sending me shit. But like my time in this is limited as a consumer.
Sure.
So yeah, I've definitely noticed that, and it's because of the space and curating the space and knowing exactly what I want, what I need, and what makes me happy and how I want it to look. Sometimes I'm not in love with the piece. I just know how the piece will affect the shelf, and I'll buy it. Like I just got these two Kotobukiya Han Solo and Chewbacca's. They're right behind your shoulder right there. I put one on each side. Didn't want them, had no interest in them, but I was like, you know what? Looking at the shelf, I was like, that would probably look cool if I had them both on different, on opposite sides. Boom, there they are. And that's the end of it. You know? What do you got?
Is he snapping without the gauntlet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big issue.
It was in my review. It was mentioned in my review.
The Hot Toys isn't any better.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, it's a great figure, but it doesn't have that. I mean, I've got so much stuff in storage that I was telling Mason, my oldest, the other day. It's like, we could open a fucking toy store today with just what we have here.
Well, maybe one day.
I don't want to, though.
Shane G. Something happened.
Oh no! Oh no!
Something's happening.
Something happened.
That reminds me of that fabulous
FABO
audio. Yeah, FABO audio clip of somebody did this. Somebody did this. So after this week's show, I think I need to give a bit more clarification on my ranking list. That ranking was specifically for those albums alone and my personal feelings in those moments having revisited them. Out of all those bands, when I named if I had to pick my absolute favorite piece of work by any of them, it would have been Nirvana's Unplugged album. That album got me through a lot of shit in my teens, and to this day, I can't listen to it as everything just feels better, I'm guessing. I know Joe has mentioned the Unplugged album before on the show as well. Music is such a personal thing on so many levels for everyone. In my opinion, it is the epitome of if you like it, you win, because it's about the experience and what your feelings of, and what feelings a song or album can evoke for you. Prime example, Bobby spoke about how he heard Downward Spiral for the first time and it changed his life. I know people that absolutely hate Nine Inch Nails because the music doesn't resonate with them in any way it does for Bobby and many, many others. Why music affects people in certain ways is really something that is truly personal and a very fascinating topic to talk about. Why does a song give you goosebumps or get you choke up? Is it just the lyrics? Is it how it sounds? Was it a specific way the musician sang the lyric? Is it all of it? To me, it's another form of self-assessment, asking yourself why a song really affects you. One last thing, a story you guys will appreciate because it involves something we all love, Chick-fil-A and Nerd Rage. I was in line waiting for my food today at Chick-fil-A when I drove around for the associate to bring my order I was listening to this episode. I roll my window down and the associate approaches. He hands me my order, stops for a second, and you can see him processing. He looked at me with the widest eyes possible and said, "Holy crap, that's Nerd Rage Radio."
Holy shit.
He ran back to the takeout staging area and told his fellow workers. As I drove away, I heard them yell, "Power Rangers!" Just a funny story I figured you guys would appreciate. Nerd Rage has infiltrated Chick-fil-A.
He lives in Louisiana?
That's fucking awesome. From? Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Hope this all made sense. The whole music thing just got my wheels turning because I got some personal stuff about happen here and may need the Unplugged album on repeat for a while. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
That's a crazy story, though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, tell your Chick-fil-A boys to give us a 5-star review because we're doing great in Canada, but not so good in the States this week.
I'm not sure if I wish I could understood what he was asking now from the original thing.
I don't think he's asking. I think he's just telling.
He did ask.
Did he ask? I'm sorry.
Well, he did. He did about the emotion thing. Oh. But he also says like we kind of misunderstood the question from last week.
He was just ranking those particular albums. And
gotcha.
We nerd raged it. Sorry, Shane. Yeah. We just ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's all those things. It's like I had this conversation recently because I was listening to we did a Bobby Boogie Bop of Florence and the Machine. Right?
I thought you were going to say Bobby Boogie Bop.
Hold on, did he say the Chick-fil-A employee said "Holy shit"?
Holy crap!
Okay,
okay. Let's not get carried away.
So I'm sorry. I heard you say "flow," and I was like, "You did an episode on Flow Rider?"
No.
Shorty got them.
No, we did not. Florence and the Machine, and I was saying how she, like, you remember South Park? There's like the brown note, where like when they played the brown note, it made people shit themselves.
I do not.
There was a whole episode of South Park.
I don't doubt that exists, but I'm not familiar with it.
But I think that Florence has the cry note. Like she can hit this note for me that like whenever I hear it, it just like makes my eyes well up. Like I'm just like, God bless. Like, and it may not even be a sad song. It's just the way that the shit hits. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's usually about the tone of the song and the words of the song and how those things impact. There's a Joe Budden freestyle. Like Joe Budden has a bunch of songs that make me want to cry. But he has this freestyle over an instrumental of Phil Collins in the Air Tonight.
Oh my God.
I've heard that before.
Do you know the one?
It was on a mixtape.
Yeah, it was on Mood Music.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that joint.
Yeah, and like it gets me every time. It's just about if you're anyone that's lost people in their life, like friends and shit. Like
Damn,
it just
I forgot about that.
It gets me every time. Like to all my real people, put a lighter in the air. There's a fighter in the air. That cloud right there. Like, it's like, I know that feeling. I
haven't heard you talk about Joe Budden in a while.
Yeah.
Is he still doing the podcast?
Yeah. It's not as good as it used to be. Yeah. But his music, like, he gets a lot of shit for his music, but when he got super introspective and sad and all that shit, like,
It's the best.
It's the best. This song called Black Cloud by him gets me every time. But I think it is like, there's a bunch of Nine Inch Nails records that make me want to fucking cry. But like, I'm one of those people. Like, when it comes to music, I'm like your girlfriend. You take the movies. I'll cry at the drop of a hat. Like, there's a bunch of records out there that just make me fucking sob. And now I'm not talking about the car.
Never mind. It's interesting to me. Not
Shout out to the 9-4.
My wife had a sob when we first met.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah. There was something else I was gonna say about all that.
Mine's timing. Like, depends on what you're going. I remember I was 12. And I didn't make the varsity base. Well, it was not varsity, but the AA, AAA baseball team. And that was a big deal at the time. You know what I mean? So went up to my room, put on fucking, I forget who even sings it, but I'm a creep.
Radiohead.
Yo, just played it over and over and over and over and just kept crying. And I'll never, like, if I'm ever depressed, like, sometimes that song will just pop into my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so timing, and then definitely the vibes. But I do appreciate songs that when I'm not in that headspace and it's so good and the lyrically, the vibes. And I said it last time, I'm big on the build up. It starts off with like a low melodramatic, and then it just picks up, and then somebody's angry at the end of it. Like, that's my shit.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. I could rattle them off, but like, Nine Inch Nails. I always forget the Great Below gets me every fucking time. And then like it is pretty abstract. But like, I later came to like find out it was about like the passing of his grandmother, and then like ever since I found that out, like that's
it's
what I
more.
it's like fucking gets me every time.
There's a song by Bad Flower called "The Jester." Yeah,
I think you've mentioned that before.
That's I didn't really talk about it. I got in some weird fucking places during the pandemic.
Oh,
really?
Mentally, and that song that song helped me work through some shit.
Is that like a Tears of a Clown theme kind of thing, or?
I don't.
Like, I'm putting a smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you're doing all these things, but you're not getting your flowers, I guess is the best way. I don't know. It's worth a listen. It's called "The Jester" by Bad Flower.
There's one of the things I think I struggle with when I struggle, which isn't all the time, but like, it's like a feeling of worthlessness. And
that's a lot of what this was for me, Bobby, to be honest. Which is thinking, looking outside the box at what you and I do in our families, it sounds crazy that we'd feel that way, but it's very, very easy to have that mental state.
I think like, I feel it, I feel it in those exact same things, like I feel it in the family dynamic sometimes.
That song, man, I'm telling you should listen to it.
I will.
It's right there. And also the video. And there's one other thing. Sometimes when I see a video for something that really strikes me, obviously when I hear the song, it puts me thinking about that video. So the video for that's,
I feel it as a husband sometimes. I feel it as a father sometimes. I feel it as an employee sometimes. I feel it
driver.
as a driver, as a flyer. I feel it as a content creator. I feel it as a friend. I think a lot of this goes to the conversation we had about being appreciated or not feeling 100%. Appreciated. So 100%. It all ties in. When I was a kid, I don't know why I'm just like coming back to me, and I know you got something on deck.
No, it ties in. Whatever, it's fine.
But like, I think I always struggle with not being good enough. For my mother, for my father, for teachers, for academics, for everything, sports. Like, I always have struggled with just not feeling good enough. I think like the fact that like my neighborhood, that like everybody that was in my neighborhood that I hung out with were black, and I always got tested extra. I always had to new guys would come around. I'm still the one they asked to go to the store and shit. Like, I always felt like I wasn't good enough.
They're more athletic than you.
Well, that just was right out of the womb.
They had better hair than you.
Yeah, that's true too. Not at that time though, to be fair.
Okay. Luscious locks.
But like, I used to do shit. Like, anytime I would start feeling good about myself, I would do shit to make myself feel shitty about myself.
Yeah.
Dude, I would take, like, if I started getting on an upper wave, I would go find a girl that I liked, that I knew wasn't into me, find out who she was into, and then hook them up just to feel the pain of it.
Yeah, no, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to that.
That's some crazy shit.
When I'm in my lows, I'll kick myself a little bit more to hit that low. Mm-hmm. But I almost feel like it's just to get it in gear so that, you know what I mean?
So you can hit the orbit of it.
Yeah, but I've never gone up and been like, this feels too good, or I'm uncomfortable here, and then adjusted to go to a low.
What happens to me when you're at that high, and I'm not talking about anything drug induced, but like, is like, oh my God, where do I go from here? I mean, does it go any higher, or how do I maintain this?
That's a good question.
Eric B and I actually talked about it a bit this morning, ironically, like this feeling of impending doom when things are going well.
I think that's everybody.
That's everybody. It's like, when's the bottom going to hit?
Yeah.
You know? Where's the other shoe?
What did you have there?
It ties in. The last few episodes I've been listening, and you were drinking though.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So, but I was like, I should check in on my boy.
No. Don't check in on me.
So this is my screenshot, and it's before you even brought it up. On the pod. So it's the one where the guy was like, well, why are you reviewing this? And that's all, it just said why. And then I saw his response, and I was like, oh shit, he's cracked. Like, I was like, hey, now I get it. I totally get it. It's like, fuck you. If you don't want to know why, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But don't question my shit. It's not for you. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. I get it.
Right.
And I'm with you. But I remember you had brought it up before that even happened, and then the guy asked why, and you lost it, and I was like, I should check it on my boy.
Every now and then, they get me, man. Like, even this fucking review that went up today, the Aussie review, like, people are saying, like, I'm being too forgiving of it, and they're saying, but what about this, this, and this? I'm like, man, I specifically mentioned this, and this. You
gotta remember, man, you're the type of person that said, not only do I love this, want to talk about this, but I love that you guys want to hear about it. So you threw it out there. They're the type, there's other types of people. They're the type of people that watch it and appreciate it, but got a nitpick at it. And then they go and they do it. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's all who they are. But I'd rather be you than be the guy in the comments.
But I think it's, and that's fair and logical and rational. But I think it's when you just get these receiving things. It's like you know, you start to feel like a fucking punching bag, and then it's like you're looking for the outlet. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna hit one of you. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I'm getting the rage of all of these motherfuckers out on you.
It'd also be nice if. And it
like
sucks
nerd rage?
Oh my God.
It all makes sense now.
All right, and I think we have one more question, perhaps. Two more. So KFC, he writes, it's been a while. He says, what's up, Power Rangers? My question is from the topic a few weeks back about characters being played by different ethnicities. I never hear anyone ever mention Nick Fury when the topic comes up. I wonder, is that because of the mainstream media? It's always been Samuel Jackson. I know they went that route in the comics shortly before the movies came out. Do people not mention him because he is a badass motherfucker? Keep up the great work, guys. P.S. Bobby, that hotspot base mode is looking better and better every day. Talk about the KFC. I think it's twofold. I think I can only speak for myself. I never liked Nick Fury. I never liked him. I never liked the character.
What about when
in the comics
Baywatch played him that time?
Yeah, Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff played him.
Whenever he would pop up in Marvel books, I would get bored.
Yeah. It's almost like the cops showed up, you know? It almost came across that way.
And I think the only time I found him to be interesting was when they kind of did that alternate universe.
The Ultimates. That's where most of the MCU
where
came
he was
through,
basically,
right?
where he was Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, but I have a new take on all that stuff now with that epiphany that I had, where I'm like,
I dated a girl in high school.
I was happy to hear that too.
I'm not as locked in my way about it because only because I heard people having conversations about it where somebody was telling them like, no, but that character is this or that character is that. And I'm like, really? And then I was like, fuck, in their head, it's always been that. And is that okay? And then it's like, well, yes, clearly that's okay. Okay, well then therefore it's not a universal truth. It's just how I feel due to my experiences. And that person would probably be upset if they changed that character back to a male or to a white guy, which is basically what they changed it from.
So I've never mentioned this on here, and I don't think any of us have. Jeffrey Wright. Do you know who Jeffrey Wright is?
No, not offhand.
He played
Eric Wright.
He played Gordon in The Batman.
Oh yeah.
Nobody batted it.
Actually, I don't like him as him.
Okay, but did you ever mention that? I can't believe they picked a black guy to play Gordon. I have not heard that at all.
Right.
Have y'all
That's a very
heard
good
any
one.
scuttlebutt?
I have not. However,
I enjoyed his work. I liked him.
But if Batman was black,
I would be fine with that. I would be.
no, but I mean the what you would hear.
I don't like it.
There is a black Batman, but
Yeah, if it's that Batman,
Well, sure,
then
sure,
I'm
sure,
good
sure,
with
sure,
it.
sure, sure,
See,
yeah.
but that's where I always go. Like I'm always consistent with it. Like it's not that a black Batman bothers me; it's a black Bruce Wayne bothers me. In the same way that a white T'Challa bothers me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's what I know. Yes, ma'am.
Can I play outside?
Yes, absolutely. Sneakers.
Okay.
So like, a white Luke Cage would bother me.
it's really interesting too. Like, all right, Lucius Fox is black.
Yep.
Right. All right. What if he was white
Wouldn't like
in
it.
the next movie?
Hate it.
So, but it doesn't. Well, except for the fact that his son becomes a black Batman, and that's a big deal. Yeah. So yeah, I know you brought it to light when you said, well, if the history of it doesn't line up, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And by history, I mean like in the story.
Right.
But it's interesting when you go from one to the other too. Like if Lucius Fox's son doesn't become Batman, then he could be a white guy.
Yeah. So that's the argument of if the race doesn't matter to the character, then it's
Yeah.
okay to change the race of
Right,
the character.
but there would be a huge uproar if there was a production company that decided just make Lucius Fox a white guy. Because then it's like, well, what the fuck was your intent with that?
Right. And to be fair, I'd be on that side.
Yeah.
Because like,
But there's nothing to the backstory. So that's what I'm
Agreed.
saying. What if it was the other way? Lucius Fox was white and you made him black, you wouldn't care. But if he made him black and
No,
then
no,
the
no.
actor was white,
no, I would care. That's like, I don't care, but I think we talk about race stuff.
No. I'm mocking your daughter over here.
Oh.
I don't know why we're being quiet.
Gotcha. But like to me, I'm upset either way. Usually.
usually.
Yeah. I can't think of an instance where I'm not off the top of my head. But you could say
Commissioner Gordon.
what do you need?
Can I play with Selena?
Yeah.
Sneakers.
Yeah, but I feel the same way.
You feel the same way? What?
I
Sorry.
don't like. I like my Commissioner Gordon to look like he looks in the comics.
You prefer,
Yes.
but when he wasn't, didn't even bat an eye.
No, I bat an eye.
Oh,
I Batman tonight.
I see what you did there.
I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm going to take credit for
It didn't feel like Gordon to me.
I think a lot of people were like, I like their interaction. I hated their interaction.
And I love that actor.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's great. I liked him on the HBO show, The Westworld. Like, I liked him on a whole bunch of stuff, but I did not like him as Gordon, but not because he was black.
So, like, to me,
Listen.
it's hard for me to isolate it because, like, he doesn't feel like Gordon to me.
And listen.
So then I had to say why.
You know why?
Sure.
Because Gary Oldman played, and you're never going to be. I'm half busting your balls, but I'm also on track. I think.
Yes,
That I don't think anyone's ever going to play that role better than he did.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm a Gary Oldman.
I'll give you your flowers on that one.
I'm a fangirl for Gary Oldman.
Sure, he is. He's going to draft him in the entertainment draft.
I don't know why when
bet
you said
Ga-
that, I pictured Gary Busey, and then
I'm not a fangirl for Gary Busey.
Yeah, but then I was like, he never played Gordon.
What if he did? What if he played him in like one of the Tim Burton movies, and he's just batshit crazy?
But I bet you Gary
Is he
Oldman,
the Joker?
Gary Oldman is explosive off the line. Is what I was.
Like this line,
Yeah, that's the one.
But like,
explosive. Oh, that hurt.
but my thing is like I had to ask myself why, right? And like so like it is something to internalize and sort of dissect and be like, why don't I like this? Why don't I like characters' races changed or their sexes changed if I'm attached? I think the guy that wrote in about the boys made a good point, but I'm not attached to those characters in the same way.
Right.
So they're all kind of new to me,
And see,
and
I
it
didn't
doesn't
even
bother me.
I've never read the books. I didn't even know all that was different. And I haven't heard anybody make a stink about it either.
No, but I don't think most people have read the books.
Yeah.
But
Jinx.
like even I read the books and I don't remember I remember certain characters and they kind of are represented appropriately.
It's interesting, man. Like Catwoman's always been white in the comic books, right? Well, I don't want to say always.
Except for
Halle Berry.
Frank
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. That's two Boosie references.
Frank
Yeah.
Gary Busey.
Gary. I want Gary Busey and Lil Bootsy on a track
Hey, let's
together.
go.
Frank Miller's Year One. Her race is kind of ambiguous. It's kind of very similar to how it is in the Batman movie.
Right. But I mean, but then again, you had Halle Berry and stuff. But I only brought that up to say, like, didn't and I'm only speaking for myself, like you said, like I didn't care. Like
It doesn't even cross my mind.
it doesn't,
And I think that's
doesn't.
beautiful that it's gotten to the point.
And it crosses my
But I
mind.
don't think it works for everything.
And that's the thing is like I have to deal with that, right? Like I have, because like I think the off the cuff response to that in a Twitter sphere is not accurate to who I am as a person.
Sure.
So I have to figure out why. What upsets me about
I want to start like writing down. I'm gonna write down all the big ones. Like I know one that bothers me the most is Idris Elba is 007. That one bothers me the most.
Well, it
But
hasn't
everybody's
happened.
different. No. But it was suggested.
Yeah, it's
right?
been heavily
and then it became a deal. I think it was going to happen, and it became such a big deal that they said maybe.
Now, what if 007 and the name James Bond was just a code name for that position?
So that's kinda how-
007 is
That's kinda how
not
they
that
play
one
that.
individual.
in the name James Bond, like because they were talking
Okay.
about doing that,
Sure.
and that's how they were going to kind of tie it in. Like this is
Right.
just like a mantle. It's
Well,
like
then that fixes their problem, but it doesn't address what we're talking about. Then
Agreed.
It's a scapegoat.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
Agreed.
yes, the obvious answer is that'd be fine.
What?
But
Why do you have to?
I don't think they did, and I think that was, so. What I was trying to get at is, why don't we make a list of, and for the future, make a list of everything that's they're suggesting, or maybe what if Dumbo wasn't an elephant? Maybe you know what I mean, like things like that.
So here,
And then see what you're okay with,
I
what
don't
you're
think
not
I'm okay
with,
with that.
and why.
I'm not okay with that.
What if
I'm gonna be
uh,
honest. If it was like a grasshopper with huge ears, I'm out.
No. Here's what it is. Disney's gonna buy Pokemon and they'll make Snorlax into the Dumbo.
I'm out. But like that is like, so like here's my question, right? Let's take, and we're speaking from speculation.
Yep.
Right.
Speaking from speculation. Yeah.
Actually,
I am against the idea of diversifying something for the sake of diversifying it. That's my personal perspective. Do you think that when they went to make the Batman, that they were considering the diversity of their cast?
No.
And I would say that they probably were.
When they with Gordon and Catwoman and
Yep.
well, Catwoman had already. I mean, the most recent Catwoman movie, she was black.
Negative.
Halle Berry wasn't the most recent Catwoman. Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh, I'm way off. Yeah,
Zoe
what's her name?
Kravitz.
Yeah. Well, she
Wasn't
that was
and
kind of
she-
insignificant.
And she, I don't think she was Selena
she was more
Kyle either.
Selena. I don't know
Halle
what her
Berry.
name was.
Halle Berry. I don't think that Halle
Oh.
Berry was Selena Kyle. I
Okay.
could be wrong about that, but she had like cat powers and shit. Like it was a whole different beast.
Right. It's more of a Marvel feel.
Yeah, but like, so I don't think so. I think that the diversity was probably a consideration for the cast. I think it has become that way, and I just don't like that conceptually, because like there are movies that I love where the cast is pretty homogenous. Is that the right word?
I'll let it
And
pass.
I think it's the right choice.
What do you mean? I ain't even looked at a dude.
But
I don't even like milk.
I never even so much looked at another guy. But take I go back to this one all the time because it's an easy one to pull from, right? But Paid in Full.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
I don't want.
You don't
a
want white. You don't want
I
white Mike.
I don't want a white guy and a Spanish guy and a lesbian and Paid in Full. You know what I mean, or whatever the case
That
may
movie's
be.
called Four Brothers.
But you know what I mean, like like I'm not a fan of
The
it.
second you do it because you're trying to, it's almost like you've already lost because you're taking away from the what's genuine about the movie, and you're sacrificing what's genuine about it for diversity.
Agreed. Now, here's the thing. If I were, and we'll never know because they would never say this, but like if they had auditions and everybody came in and they picked the best performance,
Right.
and then like I do look at that through a different lens. I personally am against it
And then you take that performance and say, does it work with what we're trying to achieve?
Right.
Or even make it better.
Right. And that's not why I don't like race changes, but it's just another facet to it.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, man, like there are like, I don't want a Spanish guy or an Asian guy in Goodfellas just because.
So remember my
It
thing
doesn't
about
make
trailers?
any fucking sense.
Like imagine no trailers. They just tell you a new Batman's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, fuck, I gotta be there. Opening day, you go in and like Batman hits the scene and it's just, I mean, I'm talking about like Africa black. Is that all right to say? I don't even know. Navy blue black. That motherfucker's black. So black you don't know if he's navy blue or black. Like,
As a black man, you can say that.
so he shows up and like you're immediately so thrown off. I guarantee you for the rest of that movie, depending on how good it is, you'd probably be so fucked up that you just couldn't enjoy it.
If it's Bruce Wayne, I'm out.
Good point. Yeah.
That matters.
Wait, you saying there's no rich black dudes?
No. I was going to say Kanye. But like, no, because like, and not even because like it doesn't even like Bruce Wayne is in the ultra uber 1%, right?
Yeah.
So you can tie it into like what makes sense there.
Right.
But also on the other hand of things, like that's not what it's about to me. Like the character's just white.
Yeah.
Like, and for some reason, Bishop, there's no reason why Bishop from X-Men needs to be black for the character to work. Not one single reason.
Okay.
But he's fucking black.
Yeah.
And I don't want any other type of color Bishop ever.
What if he was light skinned?
Drake cannot play Bishop.
Damn, that's what I was getting at. I tried.
You know, but like that's the thing is that like I'm gonna be thrown off by that.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
You know, and it doesn't relate to the character. It's just I think I really do love these characters.
Did you have a problem with Aquaman?
So I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not so much because I don't even know what that business is. Like I don't know that.
What do you mean that business?
I haven't done a DNA check. I don't know what it is. Right?
He's like Samoan or some shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Samoan. I didn't know if he was Hispanic.
Pacific Islander.
Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
It's not
You
so much
you gotta be more Pacific.
because I like Namor.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Namor's look has always been androgynous. Not androgynous, that's sex. But like, it's always been kind of all otherworldly in a sense where it's like you don't apply race to it in the same way.
Yeah.
Or I don't. I can only speak for me.
You got them spike ears and them feathers on his
with the eyebrows and all that. Like it's almost like
it almost looks otherworldly.
correct.
I mean, it
correct.
looks like an
correct.
alien.
And I think that's why it doesn't impact me in any way. But you know what? I think you take Momoa.
He kind of looks like the Wonder Twins too.
You take Momoa, you put him in as Arthur, and you make him blonde, and I think I'm in. But I hate that he's not blonde.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me at all. And I like him being of, Pacific Islander descent makes sense.
Yeah, like
Because they like water?
the ocean. They're surrounded
Because
by it.
they're all islands.
Surrounded by it.
I'm
Well,
an
Japan's
island boy.
Japan's surrounded by water.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Why you think they got sea monsters and shit, Bobby?
Godzilla's.
Why you think Godzilla comes out of the damn water?
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I feel guilty even saying it. Like, it feels like wrong. It feels like the thing you're not supposed to say.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel. And I don't feel that way because I hate any group of people.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way equally
It's just
about
all you
every
know.
race.
Wait, but okay, 30 years from now, your kids go to see an Aquaman movie and they go back to the comic books and this is blonde white dude who's probably fucking vanilla as fuck compared to Jason Momoa. Your kids are like,
I think-
what's up with this white gender washing ass shit?
Well, it depends. Because if they're watching the Justice League,
Yeah.
they're probably reading these comics thinking, wow, this Aquaman's far more interesting.
Yeah.
I've never read an Aquaman comic in my life.
But
I got a good one here.
I
if
meant
you
it more as
want
in
exposure.
I meant it more so as in like this
Want to
is
get your
the-
feet wet? You know what I'm saying?
Just water under the rug, buddy. Water under the rug.
I just mean it more so that if that's the Aquaman that they knew, just like the blonde Aquaman is the one you knew.
Correct. So that's my point. Is that now I see things that that's not an objective truth. So like I respect what anyone else wants,
Right.
but it's not what I
Sure,
want.
and nobody's asking you to change your mind enough in that. Yeah, it's just curious. It's interesting to see like when is it okay with Bobby? When's it not okay? Well, when
It's
what
never.
if it's this way or that
It's
way.
usually never.
Yeah,
It's usually never okay, and but it spans across all races.
sure.
Like
One way or the other.
I don't mind. What's interesting? I'm trying to think. Dr. Manhattan.
Is not black or white.
No, but he was portrayed
Oh, as a black dude.
as a black dude.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me because I don't think of him in those terms. But
Because
if
he
he,
got a
but
big
if he
dick? Is that
didn't,
why?
but if his natural state,
I said, is it because he got a big dick?
but if his natural,
big blue dick.
if his natural state was a glowing green dude, it would bother me. In my
right,
head,
I
the
see what you're
characters
saying.
just look away.
It's like- and then I get it because then the question is why the fuck did they make him green?
Right.
And if there's no reason at all,
The paint was
now
on
it's
sale.
frustrating.
The paint was on sale.
Right.
Correct. And I'll be honest with you, I think there is a reason. I just think it has nothing to do with the material.
Right.
You know,
It's for the green people.
there's a ton of pressure on anybody producing any sort of media to
and that goes
be inclusive.
That
It
goes,
sucks, man.
That goes,
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
and that goes both ways depending on the time frame that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So right now, my personal opinion is that Jim Gordon and Selena's races and representations within that film are what they are, namely due to diversifying the cast. That's my personal opinion.
Especially after Black Panther and the success. Like you said, there was people that saw it just to see it because they heard, oh, it's representation. It's representative of us.
Right. So that's my personal opinion on that. However, when they put Terry Fitzgerald in as a white guy in Spawn,
Oh, Terry Fitzgerald, fast off the line. 6'4",
explosive.
explosive.
They
is vertical.
They told Todd McFarlane, you cannot have an all black blockbuster movie. Like summer blockbuster movie. You can't do it. And he thought that was bullshit too. You know, and I think that that's bullshit. You know, and Black Panther proved it was bullshit years later.
Yeah.
But like, at least I'm consistent about it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm holding everybody's feet to the same fire.
So 50 years ago, if you never changed, and I hate to keep on this topic, but like,
No, I think it's an interesting one.
so 50 years ago when everybody was white, to the point that they was doing blackface and stuff like that because they wouldn't have a black actor. So like everything's white.
Let's go 70 years ago.
70. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, 50 years ago.
I'll
funny.
take 70.
I'm
I mean,
almost
That's funny because
50, so-
50 years ago it wasn't that
It was
way.
1972.
but
years ago.
when was Dr. King died? Like what? 75
Yeah, but they weren't
years
doing.
ago?
They had black actors. And
Sure,
shit, like,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah.
let's,
But to your
that
point,
to
to your
that time,
point.
to that time,
yeah.
to that time.
Less than a century.
Yes. What about it?
Yeah. Damn it.
Yes.
Less than a century ago.
How would I feel?
All white actors, right?
Yes.
If we stuck with Bobby's idea of, well, we're not gonna fucking change people's race just for the sake of changing it, then it'd still be the same today.
No.
Uh-huh.
No, because what we're talking about during that era is creating more stories and bringing in new characters that happen to be diverse.
But how?
It's not like you took like Pride and Prejudice and just made a French character black or whatever the case
okay,
may
but,
be. I don't even
Black-
know if that fucking thing takes
Black
place.
Lightning. How successful was that? Like, how good of a character is that? How good of a show was it? Like, it's trash. Nobody's interested.
I never
Exactly.
watch it, but I don't watch any of those shows.
Nobody's interested. What about
I thought
Batgirl?
Flash was trash.
Flash wasn't trash.
I know, but I think that, so I don't watch any of
And
those.
Flash isn't a new character. You're talking about DC. I'm referring to CW.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm making more so making the point, like, you try to introduce a new African American character, and it'll never be as tantalizing as Batman.
Well, because they're not as popular as Batman.
Which is why their solution to the problem, instead of saying, let's try to create a cool black guy, like, and it's just not possible, they say, let's get a black guy on screen with the popularity behind it by changing his race.
And
007 is a good example of that.
And I think
well,
that
they
that's,
didn't do it.
and I
but they
think,
were talking
and
about
not only do I think that that's bullshit, but I also think it's not true. Look at the numbers of what the Batman did. Look at the numbers of what Black Panther did.
yeah,
They're
but
not
Black
the same.
Panther was an exist. Oh, okay. All right.
A Billy.
Dude, that was timing too.
Of course,
That was. I mean,
but timing is a factor in financial success.
Yeah, you could call that an anomaly. Why? I'd be interested to see what these numbers look like.
What?
For
Okay.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
I am too. But I have a
And
feeling
again,
they will be
his death,
successful.
because of his death, though.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, we can't just keep building excuses for why this black franchise
Yeah.
is successful.
Well,
at a
do
certain
it
point,
again.
we just
I'd
have
like
to
to
say
see it
that this
again.
black franchise is just a success.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Rock the Dwayne Johnson is leading the Black Adam role, right? So that's coming out any day now.
He ain't black.
He's half black.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
His dad's black.
I thought his dad was Polynesian or whatever.
No, his mom is Samoan.
For real? And his dad's black?
Where? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they was in the when he first came out. it
There's
was
even
like
a TV show about it.
Did anybody see that meme that came out because of the Megan Thee Stallion reference that he made?
Oh, they're so funny.
I don't even know
There's a
what you're
bunch.
talking about.
So he was in Pets, right? And they,
Oh, I've heard about
which is fantastic.
I know, and I wanted to see it before I got here, but I'm taking your recommendation. Even though you don't take mine, I told you to watch Blackbird. That's fine, you didn't.
Well, look, you should watch it with. I'm not sure if it's like, don't go to the movie theater by yourself to watch.
Why not?
Because it's like a family movie. Unless
you're
you
pissing
enjoy,
me off.
Unless you enjoy those. Unless you enjoy
I
those.
do.
Oh, okay,
I saw Minions. I hated it.
Because like I would have never watched this without.
Yeah,
You know.
I think those movies are good.
Okay,
for,
all right, then disregard.
Yeah.
But like, so he did an interview, and they said, if you were to be somebody's pet in real life, whose pet would you like to be? And he said, without Megan Thee Stallion.
Wow.
And
So funny.
Kevin Hart starts laughing.
Is she in the movie?
No.
No? Okay.
And the interviewer's like, why Megan Thee Stallion? He's like, next question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Nice.
Well, Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend tweeted out a picture.
Who's got a weird ass name?
Probably.
Is he in the industry?
He's nobody.
He's nobody. He tweeted out a picture of The Rock with his wife, who's a white woman.
Yes.
And on top of it, the little meme of it said, just teach her how to season food, man. You'll be all right.
Yeah, trust me, his wife don't cook shit.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, even like, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know Black Adam the same way that I know some of these other characters.
many people do.
But when I think of Black Adam, to me, he's a Middle Eastern descent. Like, and he's not.
Is that in line with what you think?
And he's not.
I don't really have.
And he's not super jacked. In both of those things,
I've only seen him super jacked.
not The Rock jacked. Like The Rock is like
That big barrel chest. That's how I remember it with the.
to me. I don't. To me, I see him as like a.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I think
I don't see him as being that much bigger than Shazam. I see him being about the same. But The Rock is way bigger than
But
Shazam.
I think he slimmed down for the movie, didn't he?
I mean, that dude's. I think if anyone in the world has a superhero physique, it's
like
Dwayne
a
Johnson.
like a mythical.
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I can't wait to see.
that dude's like he's like 50 something.
But like,
That's nuts.
he has
Steroids
like slick back hair. Like
Oh,
there's a lot.
yeah,
There's like
yeah,
there's a lot of like physical elements about him that don't line up with me.
And
with
you
The Rock.
already don't like his acting, so I cannot.
except his voice acting.
I'm scared.
I do.
okay
As
with
it turns
his
out,
voice
I like his voice acting. And you know what? And I don't mind him now that I've woken. I don't
Woken.
I don't.
Bobby's woke about The Rock.
Woke did it.
Become awoken. I don't believe I disliked him in Moana.
Right, man.
Although his song
His singing isn't good.
is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm sure your kids have only played it a couple times over the years.
Yeah, they play that one. They play the crab one probably more. And then and I prefer the one where she's going out to sea.
Yeah, banger. It's a banger.
It is, and that's one that makes me want to cry.
I get it.
I can proudly say my kids were pretty much aged out of that. I've seen it a couple times, but they're not watching it repetitively.
You know what's nuts about your ups and downs with Dwayne Johnson? I'm the same with Kevin Hart. I don't like his comedy.
I don't either.
But when
I don't find
those
him funny.
two are together,
There's some chemistry there.
it is must see TV for me. I think it is the funniest pairing in like history.
The thing I don't like about Kevin Hart is his cadence. It's always just like this.
Exactly.
No matter
And I
how
was
we
like,
talk.
and it's
always
like,
just like this.
and it was hilarious, right? So yeah, it's annoying as fuck.
But I do think that like there's a lot more to talk about with that race change conversation.
Yeah,
I just don't know where to take it.
I think we should start with that list. Like, how would you feel if A,
But
B, C,
I'm going to
D?
feel the same way about like all of them.
Yeah, but if
there's
you dive
none of-
into the reasons, I bet the reasons are now different.
Maybe.
With the exception, I know you have that grand like you're doing it for the wrong reason and you're taking away from the substance, but or the content. But I'm willing to bet.
Maybe not taking away, you're just changing it. You're changing the content for a reason that has nothing to do with the content itself.
And change isn't always bad.
Like Michael B. Jordan is the Human Torch is 100% a diversity thing.
It drove me crazy. I didn't like that.
Sean W. says, long time no talk, Nerd Ragers. Hope you're all doing well. Bobby, you've been in my neck of the woods twice recently. First LA, then South Carolina, which is where I'm currently am, visiting my folks. Every time I come here, I think, well, guess this is where I'm retiring because God knows I'll never be able to afford a house in a good state. Now that we're at the age where we can properly consider ourselves old and trash, I wanted to ask you guys about crying at movies. I never did in my teens and 20s. I had one or two movies that hit me in my 30s, but now in my 40s, I'm lucky if I don't bitch out before the movie's title appears on
Interesting. I
tear up when Pa Kent dies in the Christopher Reeve Superman, when John Wayne leaves his family at the end of The Searchers, when Dude tells the hobbits you bow to no one, and during the entire ending of Big Fish because the guy in that movie had the same relationship with his father that I do. What are some of you guys' shameful tearjerkers? So, like, I'll tell you, like, I cry, and I almost fucking cried at that goddamn dog movie, The Super Pets. Like, some of the saddest shit I've seen in a while. I cry like a baby. I won't even watch it with other people in the room during Deep Impact, the Meteor movie.
Really?
Sounds like a porn.
Dude, it rips me to shreds.
What does?
There's a couple scenes in particular. One when the girl, the Tia, whatever her name is, the blonde hair chick, she snatches this woman's baby, seemingly to like escape with the baby so the baby doesn't die, and the mother like chases her, like, give me, like, I want to die with my child.
Give me that baby.
And then she puts the baby on the helicopter and allows the mother to take her spot, which the mother wouldn't have done. That gets me. And then she goes to just die holding her father on the beach. Like, that shit gets me. Like, that movie rips me to shreds. I can't watch it with people because I'll be too embarrassed. What else makes me cry? Like, dude, most of the fucking, like, I cry at the end of Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
You know,
like, that one gets me. Like when he's like putting the coat on your shoulders or whatever, and that thing is like,
dude, the whole bit with like,
and my wife busts my balls because I don't cry about. I don't get upset about like real life shit hardly ever, but like movies will get me.
I think that's why we do it though. You want that escape. You know what I mean,
dude? The fuck when Alfred sees him sitting at the little restaurant,
give a little nod
and gives like, I'm a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Dude, I die when I cry fucking throughout Man of Steel. I cry. There's parts in Justice League that get me fucking emotional now. Like, there's parts in fucking Civil War with like, I'm sorry, Tony, but he's my friend. Mm-hmm. Like, that shit gets me every time because I know those fucking vibes. Yeah. Like, it's not about right and wrong anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, this is my guy. I'll sort out the consequences on the back end, but right now I gotta get him through. Like, that shit, it fucking gets me.
I'm not a crier. I'm a huge lump in the throat.
Yeah.
Right fucking
that's really me.
Dude, it gets me all the time. But I barely cry. I did cry on probably nobody saw this, Finch. It has Tom Hanks. It was on Disney Plus. It was a movie that they released where he's got that robot.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're gonna want to watch this since you have the dog now. I'm telling you, watch it. But it's a tearjerker, and it fucked me up. But it was right around my mom's time passing, and stuff, right? So that bothered me. But still, that's the last time I cried. Everything else, lump in the throat, and I am a sucker for it. Like, if it's a good plot, like some of the ones you guys mentioned, I'm like, yep.
Dude, Cocoon makes me fucking cry.
I haven't seen that since. Dude,
yeah,
that was one of my first.
Dude,
I don't
that
even know
shit
if it
is
was a
brutal.
VHS or something else. That's old. That was like 80.
Yeah, that shit is brutal.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I haven't seen it in years, and if I'm being honest, I'm not ever going to watch it again. But the times I've seen it, it's driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Because that's my grandma basically ended, and that was how she kind of went away, is she lost her mind, and, you know.
What Dreams May Come?
Oh, I got one. Spice World, where they wrecked the bus.
That was a rough one.
Spice up your life.
But What Dreams May Come gets me. Dude, I told you I was listening to Joe Button, and then Robin Williams making. That's where my draw connection is there. A song called I think Broke. He says he's comparing. He's like I'm like the legendary Robin Will, not in the same rope, but we don't hang like that.
Oh Jesus, that's rough.
Dude, when he was on it, he was on it.
God,
what else? I feel like there's so many. But I mean, I'm quick to cry. I cry at fucking Return of the Jedi. I cry at in Star Wars at the like when they're walking down the aisle together. Like, I'm done. Child.
You remember
crying.
Mr. Holland's Opus?
Yep.
That one got me.
Yeah,
but I was younger then.
No, I mean, sad. Like, sad is sad. There's another movie that has Adam. It sounds crazy, I know. Just Adam Sandler.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here it goes. But he plays like a janitor or something, and he's always got his headphones on, and he's always listening to The Who.
It's a serious Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, it's a serious Adam Sandler.
I don't recall that at all. I'm just thinking about what to
Rain on me.
Rain on me.
Right. Yeah. The Who. And he's like listening to that in his headphones all the time. And then at like the end, you come to find out that like he was like kind of like a successful dude, but like his wife died in fucking the towers in 9/11. And he was listening to that song when it happened, whatever. He's been fucking listening to it ever since. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. And I'm not an Adam Sandler fan, but that one gets me all the time too. All right. Let's see. And then James G. Last one. What's up, crew? Chris, Hulk Hogan entrance themes. Real American WWF or American-made WCW? Can't pick Voodoo Child. That's Hollywood Hogan.
Oh, absolutely. Real American. Hands down.
Okay.
I think the WCW one is trash. But Voodoo Child, I actually have that on like my main playlist. Jimi Hendrix Voodoo Child. It's what Hulk Hogan came out to when he was NWO
yeah.
Hogan, yeah. Definitely Real American.
On last week's opening topic of what to expect from an apology, is there ever a time where even if the person given the apology checks all the boxes of a good apology and you've not accepted it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it depends on the damage done. Like, I'm not going to mention all this on the air because it actually ties into something to do with you.
Really? Someone
recently has really been saying some horrible things about some groups of people, and
how much time we got?
all of a sudden they're super apologetic and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, yeah, but you already did all this. I'm not gonna say damage. You already done all this fucked up shit, and it wasn't like it was a one-time occurrence,
right?
So, burn bridges, right? I mean, that's how I look at it on something like it. It just, once again, it's so situational.
Yeah,
It's so situational.
I don't think so. But I'll tell you, like, I often get pigeonholed as like the guy who doesn't apologize, but I'm also the guy that doesn't get apologized to. And I don't know what that's all about. But there's a few times I pulled up a guy recently. Actually, I've pulled up 3 guys on the mopping gig in my time there where I've been like, you and we got to get to the bottom of this right now. And all 3 of them have apologized. And all 3 of them, I have just accepted their apology. And that's the only apologies that I can really think of, like, to date. I think that, like,
well, let me
give you a couple examples, right? And this is not like, I don't mean to shit on anybody or whatever, right? Shoulders not coming to Skullfest after saying he was going to come to Skullfest, and then saying that again he was going to come to Skullfest, and then at 2:00 he was coming, and then at 4:00 he was coming, and then at 6:00 he was coming, and at 8:00 he was coming, and at 10:00 he was coming, and I finally said, look, just, it's a waste of time now. Don't bother. And then I think he got upset about that because shit he was going through, which is all valid. I don't think he ever apologized to me. And I'm still kind of like, I'm not holding on to it. I love the guy. Like, it's part of his charm that he's just kind of like, it's a dice roll all the time. But if you were to apologize, I'd accept it immediately. Even though it very well might repeat again.
Maybe you feel like it's not worth saying. Maybe you guys have that lack of, like, you've already forgiven him.
Yes.
Maybe he doesn't feel like an I'm sorry is necessary.
Maybe. But to me, it does mean something.
I'm too apologetic.
What about this situation?
My wife is too.
You're done with this person. You don't want to have anything to do with them going forward, and then they come to you with an apology. So hang on. Do you half-heartedly just say, "Yeah, that's fine. I accept your apology, but I don't want shit to do with you going forward"? Or do you? I mean, at what point you're like, "Well, I accept your apology, but I don't want you in my life. I don't want to have anything to do with you based on your action."
I think that you have to at least say that part.
You have to just tell them.
Yeah, even if you don't accept their apology, you got to tell them where you stand with them. That's how I feel. Like, I mean, I'll be a little bit transparent about the Adam bit. I think that he felt as though I made a ton of transgressions against him. You know what I mean? And every time that he brought one of those to me, I did apologize. I can run them off. I know I can, like, run off 5 off the top of my head. And I did mean it genuinely, but I also, like, I continued to make the infraction, so I continued to fuck up, But then I'd also tell him about things that, like, here's some things that bothered me. And I never got one apology, never once. I might have got some apologies, like I'm sorry you were hurt by that, but you know me, but he didn't feel as though there was, so, like,
sorry for the way that made you feel.
If he were to, like, when we had, like, our big separation moment. If he were to come back to me in a week or a month and be like, man, I'm sorry about how all that went down. Let's take a minute and get it right. I'd have been right there. But by the time we started talking again, too much time had passed. And now I've got a ton of baggage. with it all. Now I feel so fucked up about it that like it's not something a conversation can fix anymore. So even if we have an apology, which we didn't, but even if we did, we would still have to be separate because now the wound is not what it once was. No one sewed it together. It's just been ripping and ripping and ripping and ripping and ripping. So like, I'll tell you, like, I think it's fair to accept or not accept depending on your things. But even if they check all your boxes, I think it's fair to accept. And like Chris said, also say, look, we're good, but I can't keep you around.
You got to know your worth really in all that, in relationships and in your work area. When I was in that 9-year relationship, I got out. I wasn't talking to any of my friends. She completely isolated me. One of them was like an old lady, like 60 years old, but she always fucking looked out for me whenever I needed anything. She lived in the area. If I needed something at the house, she would look out for my mom, like all types of stuff. I came back. I was gone for a while. I came back and I texted her and I said, I don't like how things played out. I let her manipulate me. I miss you guys. I miss your family. I appreciate everything you did for me before. I'm asking back in. And she said, respectfully, I think things are where they are and we need to leave them there. And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. And you accepted it maybe in your own way. You said, yeah, I hear you. I get why you're sorry. I believe you're sorry. But things can't change. We're not going back to the way where things were. And I get it. I have more respect for that than I do somebody that's like, oh, okay, and we tried again. And
you
maybe
can't quite
you're
get it
still
back.
bitter or you can't get it back. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
We're good where we're at. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I don't hate you.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and let me be like, just so it doesn't. I'm always self-conscious about how it feels talking about that dude on here, but like, he may felt the same way because I continue to make the transgression that I wasn't really sorry that because I kept making these offenses to him. He may have felt the exact same way. I'm not really talking about like he may be completely justified in
Personal offenses,
some
or something as petty as like, oh, I'm late again.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Stuff like I'll talk about it off air, but like stuff that like. Not necessarily anything specific, right?
Yeah.
And this is all shit I've had to deal with over the course of fucking years, still working through this shit because it had a huge fucking impact on me. I can't even begin to tell you how it has fucked my life up.
Not
like,
having a friend?
It's probably it's probably the most significant breakup I've ever had in my life.
I can't wait to hear this off air.
I mean, it's
you know, I've mentioned the breakup, the brokenheartedness, right? You and Laura have been together since before the internet.
95.
Close enough.
96.
That was dial up.
Right?
Yeah.
I've had my heart broken in a relationship probably 5 times in that time frame.
And look at me now.
I'm getting paper. I mean, it kind of works, but I understand you more now the way you just said that than I ever have before in my life. That makes more sense. That whole thing makes more sense to me.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's done a number on me. You know, like dude, it's
ice cream. So you eat a lot of ice cream.
It's caused
wonders.
Go running.
It's caused problems in my marriage.
Yeah.
It's caused a ton. The what do they call it? The fallout.
I find that mad bizarre.
You know,
I mean, but you've known him
since I was 11.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I've had those. I don't know.
But I also, as they say, let me give a preemptive. And I might give it AO sandwich. I pack hard.
Well deserved.
You know, like a dog. Like once you're in the pack, like I'm in. I'm all the way in. You know, till death do us part. You know, and I think that's probably childhood shit. You know, and then therapy and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you for coming through, Casey.
Thanks for I love being here, man.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed having you.
I appreciate
you bring a good perspective to everything. And you laugh at my jokes.
Shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this, you're part of the Cool Table too. If you have your own podcast, even cooler, or perhaps not so cool. And shout out to the rest of the people on the Nerd Rage team. We have Marilyn Phil on the notes, and while we're right there, we'll look for him and see what thoughts he's been up to. He's getting craftier though.
You know he's working it now, right? He's working it now.
So that's funny, but it's not gonna. Oh, would you look at that? 9 p.m. Time for a thirst trap. And He comes in with the Muppet animal.
Yes.
Yes.
That works,
Oh,
man.
Let me see the picture though.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is at Luxlow Cosplay.
We haven't gotten a reply back from any of these young ladies.
No, not yet.
You know what? I'll take sole responsibility for handling that for you guys.
Oh, you want to be okay?
I'll take care of it.
That's very thought provoking of you.
Shout out to Dante on Facebook. Shout out to Raul on Instagram. Shout out to Ricky Tiki Timber. Did 2 videos this week. So he's back. I got to pay him for the week prior.
Oh gosh,
60 cents.
And am I forgetting it? Shout out to Joe, of course, who couldn't be here. And am I forgetting anyone? No, I feel like I'm forgetting.
I think you got it.
Okay. So with that,
Dang it, crusty cuticles.
Tasty,
tight dick player.